Don't ignore what's happening here. We're having some kind of powerful, weird alchemy, and you have to pay attention when that happens. Stuff is not to be treated lightly.
Listen, I actually just came out here to have a cigarette, okay, and relax and do my thing.
Yeah.
So, maybe another time.
Yeah, but there may not be another time. Okay, I may never get this chance again. I mean, we may never, be able to return to this moment.
People, Arnold.
Your birds will come back.
Of course they'll come back. They're birds. I trust them. I understand them. It's people I don't understand. You see, Arnold, it's time for me to leave here.
there were the people communicated not simultaneously. They communicated asynchronously through what's called forums. And there was a vote on these forums for what was going to make it into the next round of global emotes. This was like the second round of global emotes. And PogChamp was one of the ones that got in, I guess, or that was voted in. And it gained steam from, I guess, Team Fortress 2. So I guess they were the ones that started to take the original face and then put it everywhere in TF2.
Dude, have you ever read any of those old marketing forums, like the Warrior Forum and shit like that?
Oh, I'm familiar with Warrior. Oh, wait. Oh, wow, Devin Nash, the rabbit hole goes even deeper than I would imagine.
Oh, now we have another one. Yeah, I was a big Warrior Forum guy. I posted.
Really? Tell me about. Tell me. Oh, tell me more.
So for context,
have you done? Have you put out a Warrior Forum $7 special?
I have not. No. I really haven't gotten like that. So for context for what we're talking about right now, there is a still active forum today that's one of the actual best, and I can't believe Gutex knows about it. Well, I can believe it actually, because but their tagline is the #1 digital marketing forum on the internet, and it's completely 100% true. It's changed a lot over like time, but there are all these different sections of this, and I was like really big in the affiliate marketing section and the PPC section.
Oh, where are you now? Oh, where are you?
Yeah, a big part of so. Back when, because we're going to talk a lot of ebook like marketing shit today, but back when I was starting ebooks, the way that I learned pay-per-click advertising was the Warrior Forum. Like that, like I was on there like learning all that stuff, and like then that's when I started to run money through it, and I probably saved tens of thousands of dollars from this forum, because like just getting advice and DMing people that were there was one guy on this forum. His name was Carter Davis. He's like really prolific, and he went on to be like one of the biggest sellers for Black & Decker. And he like ran me through a bunch of pay-per-click campaigns for acai berries, because like back in like
for acai berries. When that was big. Yeah.
And so he did he was clearing like 9 or 10K a month on a fucking website where he was selling an acai berry supplement. And he was doing it almost exclusively through the Warrior Forum and PPC. And I was like,
Wait. Doing it through the Warrior Forum?
Yeah. Like he was doing affiliate marketing through the Warrior Forum, getting people on the affiliate. Yeah, because you could get people to do your affiliate shit. So he had a ClickBank, he had the Warrior Forum, and then he would pull people to the ClickBank, and then he would do PPC.
What was he selling on ClickBank though?
He was selling the ability to be an affiliate for the acai berry thing.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so it was so this is what's so crazy. The guy's clearing 10K a month and he's not even doing anything because everyone's selling the product for him. And then and all he's doing is giving them a kickback of the percentage, and his margins are so high because it's a supplement, right? So like he's like we're getting into some real shit already here, chat. Sorry, this is like a lot of this is like really high level shit, but like so he's clearing 10K a month. He's doing no work. And he's selling a supplement that has like a fucking 60 to 70% margin. So you can easily do a 50 to 10 to 20% kickback to everybody on the Warrior Forum, and there's no problem.
It's funny that you say that, because what was the price point on it?
Man, this is years ago. I think it was like $40, $45.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a conversation with a product. It's a CBD balm.
CBD is the new acai berry. it totally is.
Sign me up. Great.
There's so much money in it. Yeah.
Perfect. Because we're gonna take everything that we learned from Carter. What was his name?
Carter Davis. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna take everything that we learned from Carter Davis's brilliant affiliate marketing program, and we're gonna apply it to CBD balm.
Oh, it all works today. Yeah. I'm one of the thing in 2020 that I am most interested in doing is product. I think like I want to have at least one really solid product under my
product.
Actually, physical product. Yeah, physical with a focus on online sales. Yeah.
what are you considering?
I think right now I either want to do green tea or I want to do a supplement.
I watched your I forget which video it was, but you were talking about how you drink so much green tea from this one particular site, and if you've probably driven all kinds of revenue to
A
that.
ridiculous amount of sales, yeah.
So you're gonna white label? Wait, does that mean
Yes.
you're gonna work with them and do white label?
Oh, dude,
Devin,
you're fine. You're good. You're good.
and then you're gonna name your tea, your green tea, that something that resonates with the Twitch audience.
You've already figured out my business plan. Like literally, I literally gave him 5% or less of the idea, and he knows exactly what I'm thinking of doing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the real question. How can you integrate two elements? Number one, subscription, and number two, a digital bonus that they get when they order, so that they have something when they click the buy now button, and then the green tea gets there, whenever it gets there.
Subscriptions should be pretty easy. If it's for a supplement, it's super easy, right? Like you can just take the time that it takes on average to consume the supplement, or actually however many pills you have for however many you're supposed to take. If it's 30 days, you just put them on a 30-day, and then then that's easy enough. But with the green tea, there's actually a time to it too. Is that there's an average rates of consumption that, like, generally if you're gonna buy like 4 ounces of green tea, it'll last you like 5-6 months or something, and you can put people back on a subscription. Yeah.
Oh, so you got to sell them like 1 ounce samplers.
Yeah, well, the way that you do this is what you'll do is you do it Amazon. Like, just follow the kings of this, right? Set a price point for the base product non-subscription, and then lower the actual if you do subscribe by 20%. Because what'll happen is people will subscribe, and then they'll end up forgetting their subscription, and you'll make more money per subscription than you will. So you can actually sacrifice a ton of margin. I'd actually argue that on most subscription products, you can probably sacrifice your entire margin for the first sale. So sorry guys. So like for context,
as like customer acquisition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, mobile games do it, right? Like mobile games are literally paying like $50 to $100 UA because they know that a person's going to spend an enormous amount. Yeah, someone else in chat said gyms.
Right. They have they already have their lifetime value of the customer figured out. So
because subscriptions are so powerful, because Netflix can acquire a customer for, I don't know, the full price of at least probably 2 or 3 months of the subscription, because they know people are just going to sit on it and never cancel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is how it is for. That's why I think subscription products are anything that you do, you have to be on subscription. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Subscription is the name of the game. But here's the next question. What about fulfillment? Because are you going to try to sell through? Are you going to use, let's say, Amazon FBA? Are you going to set up your own online store? Are you yourself going to be like, weighing out green tea and shipping and packaging and stuff?
I think
Are you going to do that on the stream?
It's the content, dude. Yeah, I'm not quite at the like watch Gordon Ramsay tier of like needing content that bad yet. So I think I could but maybe like later if I get there, I could do that. I think the real answer to this is that FBA is just too expensive. It takes about 30% of your margin, right? I think is right. So I think the right way to do this is you use the same shop that already has the deployment and they'll usually charge you anything between 5 and 7%. But there are so you white label the green tea. Those people are already selling the green tea, so they already have a drop shipping system in place, right? Because they have to for online orders. So you get them to do it, but they do 7% instead of Amazon doing 30% because Amazon knows they can get away with it. And they love it because they're increasing their sales by a huge margin, right? They're a small business, so I'm bringing them 20 to 50% more sales at a minimum, and so I'm saving 23% on every product I sell by going with like the actual small option. And there may be some cost there. Like, sure, I can't like Amazon Prime warp whole fucking time travel your package to your door or whatever. But my experience with selling online has been that most people are willing to wait for stuff. When we sold products through CLG, holy shit, our fulfillment with CLG was actually abysmal. Like, you'd order a jersey and you might get it like next year. It's not that bad, right? But it's like we would literally have like
I know the feel.
Yeah, we'd have like 60-day net turnarounds on our jerseys sometimes, and so people were fine. Like, like 30 to 60 days is okay for a product somebody really wants it. I don't think it would take that much. I'm talking, but 2 weeks for a product that you want is okay. Yeah, especially from somebody that you know, like, and trust.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. What would you say that? Okay, so you're gonna just partner with the existing site. Does that mean that they're gonna like spin you up like a white label version of their site, or you're just gonna set up your own and then just sort of connect like drop shipping like that?
I haven't committed to this vendor as the potential vendor. So one thing that I want to, this is like a really sort of kind of like cap comment, right? Like this is like everyone says this, but I actually want to put it into practice, which is like the product that I release, like the content that I do, I want it to be really high value and quality. So like if we do a supplement, I want to go to the labs. I want to actually like make sure that because you've seen that stat where like 80 or 90% of all supplements are like not actually the things that they're supposed to be and shit like that.
Right. Yeah, totally.
So I think like we actually need to quality control it to like a huge degree. And like the value of the product has to be like 5 to 10x what they're paying. And that's like a really big ask. So I need to do a lot of work. Like it's super easy for me to go to some vendor and like scoop a fucking truck worth of green tea in there for, but I'm willing to sacrifice like 50% of my like revenue or actually profit even in exchange for like a very high quality product that people like. Yeah.
I mean, a supplement, well, you have kind of two different price points, right? Because like supplements, you got a whole lot of markup. Generally, the price is going to be higher. But then like with green tea, you don't have as much of that advantage. I mean, how does can you really get 5x the value from, a little bit of green tea?
Green tea comes in a lot of different ways. The way to think about the market, because I was confused as how to like describe this market for a long time, and now I think I've got it. It's exactly the same as like the red wine market or like the specialty wine market, in the sense that like there is a very high tier of tea that to those who are initiated, I guess, are familiar with, to the extent that they will pay hundreds of dollars on the ounce for the right kind of stuff, right? So if you can source that,
yeah. green tea for connoisseurs.
Yeah. So if you can source that, you can sell it at a much higher rate, I think. So yeah. So like there are like these teas called pu'eres, which they come in these like cakes from China, and they're hundreds of years old, and some of those go for like 10K an ounce, like insane numbers. Yeah, and I don't think we get into like that because the Twitch audience also probably doesn't have that level of disposable income. But like, what I'm saying is like, I can shoot higher, right? And I can go for something that I might be able to buy for like $40 an ounce. And that's going to be something that I think everybody that they get their hands on, they're going to be like, fuck, I really like this drink. Yeah. And that'll be like a really high quality, right, type of thing. Yeah.
So, like thinking about what you have going with Nerd Fusion, is this going to be sort of like a network-wide product push? Are you going to get everybody else in the Nerd Fusion network to join your affiliate program on the Warrior Forum?
I wish I could, but there's a level of evil I'm willing to accept, and that's not the one that So I generally think, and I wonder about your like thoughts on this, because you've sold ebooks too, right? And I want to get into that. But do you know Tim Ferriss? I mean, this is a dumb question, I'm sure.
I love me some Tim Ferriss.
Yeah, so Tim Ferriss, guys, is like a really prolific content creator in the sort of business sector that Gutex and I are in. And he had a thing that he said that I really agree with. There's really two options for me in terms of pricing something or in terms of valuing something. You either go really fucking high or you go free. I don't think there's any, because if you go too cheap, you get a lot of bitch customers and people that suck. If you go mid-range, it's kind of the same thing. And this is like I think the problem that Tesla initially had, right? Was like they were trying to do both. They're trying to go wide and narrow with the Model S and the Model 3. And so that's why they ran into a lot of problems in the first like few years, is because like they couldn't decide. I think you go free and you go, okay, here's my here's my stuff, just take it, and like you release the like that's why like my YouTube is like literally the best content I have. Like it's not, you know, and if I am gonna sell something that I think is, I'm gonna really go for quality, and I'm gonna sell that at a really high price. Comparative to the rest of the market.
Yeah. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I'm a big fan of the freemium model, and have used the freemium model as a way to distribute content since really the early days.
So how like what kind of stuff did you do?
The first product, so I started by doing podcasts in like 2006, 2007, back when people thought you needed an iPod to listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
And through doing that, started to launch. I made my own blog, gooptex.com, back around that era, like 2008, 2009, and then made I made an ebook and I traded it for email addresses. It was oh yeah. I love when people tell me that email marketing doesn't work, and I'm just like, yeah, well, I mean,
Dude,
I can't.
I'm vibing with you so hard right now.
You know, Devin, you know,
Yeah.
you know, people tell you some shit doesn't work, and you're just like, okay, whatever you say, bro.
Especially the people that say it now. Like they're like, well, you know, banner like emails used to have 90% open rates. Now they only have like 60% open rates. It's like, dude, like you could still convert $1 million overnight with the right email list. Like it's no problem. Like look at Ramit Sethi.
Exactly.
Look at Tim Ferriss.
Oh,
look
you know
at,
Ramit?
Yeah. Of course. Yes, of course, dude. I've done all Ramit's content, all that shit, dude.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah. He's
Oh,
amazing.
Yeah, dude, that guy. Yeah, I have a friend that works with him. And what about Chris Do? Have you seen his stuff?
No.
Oh,
Shit.
bro. Okay. All right.
I'm on it.
I know. Hold on. I'm gonna find a video. So Chris Do is kind of like Gary Vee for creatives.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like I just found it's kind of like your channel where like it's just a bunch of videos in one place, all solving problems for me that I thought I was the only one dealing with it. Everything from like with Chris Do, he's he talks a lot about how to deal with clients when it comes to price points, as well as like negotiating stuff that's like really, it's difficult when it's creative work versus, when you have like a physical product that, you have very specific margins.
Yeah.
Put that in the, I'm just going to link a video in the chat.
Yes.
His channel's called The Future, Futur. And for fans of Tim Ferriss, Gary Vee.
Hey everyone, Ricky here.
Yeah, Chris Do is this guy's the truth. But yeah, so I started by doing training this ebook for email addresses, built up a really big email list that was instrumental in driving traffic to a lot of the stuff that I was doing at the time, which was affiliate links, because there was no money in content back then,
right?
Except for what you could make like that. And I would use the content, the podcasts and the blog posts as ways to drive traffic to my first real product, which was like an audio, because I was doing a podcast, and so I did an audio strategy guide that for Street Fighter 4, and then sold that on iTunes as an audiobook.
That must have been early. Like you must have been one of the
This was
only
pretty
people
early.
on. Yeah, well, in the sense that you must have been one of the only books on iTunes that was selling.
Yeah.
time.
So
Yeah.
back then you had to use TuneCore,
Right. Yeah.
because I mean I have like a background in I guess like music marketing and stuff, but I did that audiobook, and then I also used freemium to drive traffic from our YouTube channel to our subscription site. So we would kind of do like a time release model where If you went to the site and you were a subscriber, then you would get early access to a whole new set of videos. But if you weren't and you would watch on YouTube, then they would just come out every week.
So what he's talking about right now, for a little bit of context, is so when we learned marketing, and so like the traditional guys that I learned from were like Ramit Sethi, Jay Abram, Dan Kennedy. These are like my
Oh shit!
Yeah.
You know Dan Kennedy?
Yeah, oh yeah, I read every Dan Kennedy book. Yeah.
See,
yeah.
this is the shit that people do not understand,
Yes,
and
this
this
is
is why
fundamental
people
marketing.
are like exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't matter
It doesn't
whether
change.
it's email or direct mail or banners. It's all just
It's psychology. It's how
views,
people
clicks, and conversions.
Yep.
That's it.
So what he's talking about is when we learned marketing, when Gutex and I learned marketing, content as we now think of it is monetizable in the sense that like Twitch gives us donations and subs, YouTube gives us ad revenue. That never used to exist. The only way that Gutex and I grew up to think about content is in the sense of driving something as a sales engine. So we would
Exactly.
use free content. So I would post something like a 10-pager on like how to fix bronchitis. Then I would lead that into a sales call to action to my actual ebook that then sold bronchitis information. And because I think we grew up with that understanding, we use content in a really different way. Because content and people that have you ever heard of like a YouTube channel called Charisma on Command?
Charisma on Command, no.
So these guys do this, I think, better than anybody does it. They're a 3.6 million subscriber channel, and they make these videos that are like really high impact on just like how to be more charismatic. But all of it drives to a $500 course,
Yes.
which they just sell a ridiculous amount of, right? Because they're converting off their free content, and that's because they're using traditional marketing, like to think about that, right? So this marketing strategy still exists, but new school people, like the new age people, they all think, oh, the way that I monetize content is through my ads. It's like, dude, you're not gonna make shit off ads. You drive people
Exactly.
towards your paid shit with your free stuff, and you make money off ads. that's how you actually do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The ads are if your primary goal or revenue source is going to be ads, you're going to be sad, broke, and depressed for a long time.
And angry when the platforms change on you. Because,
totally.
Yeah, because your revenue source is going to be dependent on like December on YouTube, your ad revenue is going to be fucking crazy. You're going to be getting like $400 per video. You're going to be killing it. And then January comes around, you're like, wait, I'm making $50 per video. What happened? But your sales on your actual product aren't going to change at all if you had them.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's funny because when I look at other, I don't know, like gaming genres, titles, communities, and I see the massive numbers that other games get, and I see how a lot of content creators get to, I don't know, bank on that, or they get to coast because they just happen to be prominent figures in a game that just happens to be super popular right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like being down here in the struggle as we have been for so long without the luxury.
The trenches. Yeah.
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 But it forces you to be stronger and more creative, hustle harder, and build a more balanced set of revenue sources, because you don't want to be the person that was 90%, where 90% of your revenue is coming from, YouTube ads. And then all of a sudden you put up some video. Now you're deplatformed.
Exactly. Yes.
Because you
100%.
had no email list.
Yep.
You had none of your products. You weren't doing affiliate. You didn't have merchandise. And you had gotten used to being spoiled.
And
Because,
everybody, 100%, everybody makes fun of Ninja's gaming book.
Oh,
And you know how much fucking money that book like, yeah.
dude,
or,
you know what? Well, you know what I love about his book is it's not Ninja's Guide to Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's Ninja's
gaming.
Guide to Gaming.
Yes.
And I'm like, this. I honestly, well, I mean, I'll have to check it out next time I'm in Walmart. But I actually am curious to see what's in it, because God, that guy must make so much money off
That
of
and dude, we're just bouncing around, but the have you seen his text marketing campaign? Do you know about My Community? This
No.
is it. This is insane.
Is he telling people to text him like Gary
yeah,
Vee?
This is well,
I
okay.
need, I need one of those.
Okay, I'm about to tell you. All of the, because I had to look into this because I was so surprised by that, okay? All of the, is it my.community chat? What do you guys remember when we were talking about this? What is the website? Because all of the Gary Vee stuff, it's my.community.com, is it, guys? What's the website? I know we have it. This is really a big thing. Okay. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, so check this out, dude. So if you go to my.community.com, okay, it 404s, and there's nothing there, okay? This is the most fascinating marketing thing. But if you go to mycommunity.com/ninja, you'll get the actual page reveal of his text. And so what's happening here is this is the secret website that every big celebrity and influencer, invite only, gets put into. They give you a number, and then they give you a UI on the back end of all these ways you can engage your customers in CTA. Because the best marketing right now, I think, that exists is doing CTAs directly to people's phones. Yep, there's no blocking of it. They're already using it.
Right.
It's right in front of their face. It's literally 2000 email marketing. It's the form of communication. So like Ninja and Gary are like next level on this shit. And everyone's like, oh, why is it? And then like, think about it too from like a brand perspective. Ninja's like, hey, I want to talk to you guys. I want to engage with you dudes. Text me, and then I'll text you back. And then all he has to do is text like what, 15 fans? He doesn't even need it himself to do it. To do an intern to do it. Text like 30 or 50 fans with like a nice message. They're all gonna post that shit on Twitter. And then everyone's gonna go, Ninja texted me, right? And then big brand push. And then as soon as he wants to sell a product, sends a text to every single person. Hey guys, I've got a new book out. $1 million overnight, no problem. Way more than $1 million. It's email marketing, but now it's new email marketing. Yeah, and email marketing still works. It's
Yes, 100%.
Yep.
People discount email marketing, they discount text message marketing, but these are the people that have never really done it or they didn't have the right approach. Mycommunity.com is really interesting though.
It is very interesting. Yeah.
I love the 404. And I love that even if you type it in, you can't into Google, you don't even find anything. It's brilliant.
You don't find anything, but if you go to mycommunity.com/Gary or Gary,
so he uses okay, so they're both using it.
Everybody does. Yeah. It's the website. I'm trying to find Gary's page. You have to guess it. I think it might be Gary Vaynerchuk. Or Gary Vee. I don't remember what his URL is, but he has one.
Genius.
Yeah.
Because I was watching some of his videos when I was watching Chris Do, and then went down the rabbit hole, YouTube rabbit hole with Gary Vee, and I saw there was one video that he had where he was I think it was where he was giving a speech and mentioned his 87-page deck about content. How to your 2019 content strategy from Gary Vee. And in watching this video, he inserts a video landscape and it says it's like your iPhone is calling you. It says Gary Vee is calling.
Yeah.
And it's like in the middle of his video, and I'm like, this guy is a genius. I need to get on the text message marketing train.
Yeah. Gary's the preeminent marketer of our time. I mean, he's doing things that are so fucking insane. And like that 85-page deck that he released for free, right? Is like which is just like, and the central idea of that deck, right, is basically have a central. This is why Twitch is so good. It's like have a central place where your content is created. And so like
long form content.
Yes. Yeah. Every day that 5 days a week, I have 4 hours of stuff I can use, right? Then take that stuff piecemeal, because the number one misconception of people in business is, I get this all the time, and people are like, Devin, why would you ever upload, like, okay, so I do a 4-hour VOD, and then I take something like, sorry, dummy in chat. Okay, so I do like a 4-hour VOD, and then I take a like 10-minute segment of that VOD, and I make a YouTube video. Then I take a 1-minute segment of that, and I make an Instagram video. And people go, Devin, why are you posting the same content? Not knowing that literally 0% of my audience saw that same thing, right? Because the crossover engagement between platform is so variable, right? Like your average Twitter person is going to engage with content for like, what, 14 minutes before it's off their feed? And like Instagram, I think, is 90 minutes. Facebook is 60 something minutes. Point being that if you upload something at 9 a.m. on Twitter and then you re-upload it the same day at 9 p.m. on Instagram, there's going to be almost no crossover audience. And the people that do crossover won't care. They don't care. So Gary Vee is literally posting the same. I mean, Gary Vee is fucking posting his tweets on Instagram. He's copying and pasting his tweets. Here's one right here. He's copying and pasting his tweets with his text fucking number in it. This has 178,000 likes.
Yep. It's brilliant.
It's fucking insane. Yeah.
But here, let me ask you this though. In the process of taking, let's say, 4 hours of content every day and then chopping that up Gary Vee style, how many people does it take to do all that? Like, tell me about your team, because this is where I struggle, because as you can imagine, as somebody sort of raised in the wild of the internet without a lot of other people around that get it, and playing, you're sort of in an industry where there's not a whole lot of viewers. I'm just sort of used to working mostly by myself, and it's sort of been difficult for me, and I'm an only child, and it's been difficult for me to sort of learn how to build a team without, let's say, having a whole lot of money or anything to pay people. But it's like I run into this situation where I know how to do all this stuff because I've been on the internet for my entire life. So I can do it all myself. I understand the platforms. It's just there's not enough time in the day, because it's not a good use of my time anymore to be, let's say, handling post-production and writing social and scheduling posts, when what I really need to be doing is creating content, or making a premium product, or making decks and proposals and having, conference calls with people that are, that's the best use of my time.
But so how do I?
Okay, all right. Lay it on me. Lay it on me, Devin.
So you said, I wrote it down. I know how to do all this stuff. I understand platforms, but there's not enough time in the day. Does that have value? Your knowledge.
My time?
No,
my knowledge.
Of that stuff.
Oh, I think it has tons of value.
It has immense value.
Yeah.
Yes. So, what if there are other people around that want that kind of value, right? So let me tell you about a thing that I invented called the Lab, okay?
The Lab.
The Lab. What the Lab is the Lab is a secret Discord channel that lives on my Discord. And what it is select people who are starting out in their careers or want to learn more about marketing and basically get direct access to me and my best stuff. And I invite two types of people in there, okay? The first type of people I invite in there are people that want to work hard, they want to learn, and they want to grow as in this field, okay? The second type of person are experts, people that are VPs of Amazon, right, is in there, right? Like our friend Ethan, a bunch of creators, like YouTube creators, like my friend Jeremy are in there that are like experts on YouTube. So the idea is that the people in the Lab get impact and learn as a result of an iterative process of us creating together, and I pay them. So the combination of this creates a community that will actually build that stuff in real time, and that is how I have some sections of the Lab that are just working on short form content, and we just launched TikTok, and we're launching Instagram this week, and we launched our podcast. Then we have other people that are working on the YouTube. We have other people that just work on thumbnails, and then we have other people that are doing programming projects. And so it is an iterative community of people that are learning together that is invite only. And I also try to connect those people out, because here's the other thing you have a bunch of resources for, right? You are a very connected person. You can get people jobs. You can provide people value. You have people that come to you all the time that are looking for work, right? And you know how to point those people. So you can give opportunities to those people. And that's what I do, right? Every single person in the lab has gotten some paid opportunity with another person to be able to do something, right? And every day this place gets better.
Okay, but
That's how
how do you vet them?
Standard application, like they're applying for a job, CV, interview, like you just go through the shit, dude. Like I look for people that are highly skilled in certain areas. So I'm looking for like experts in thumbnails. I'm looking for experts that make YouTube videos, experts in short form TikTok content, stuff like that. You should be getting a lot of inbound of people, if you're creating content, that are, and I'm sure you are, right, that are looking for people for ways to help. This is how you capitalize on that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've definitely crowdsourced a lot of help over the years, typically, from Twitter, but also, Twitch and YouTube as well.
Sorry to interrupt, but the problem with crowdsourcing is that those people don't live anywhere. So you may get them for an individual that's the critical difference here, right? It's like, I can get 1 million people to work on YouTube videos. I get literally requests for that every day. But to get people that are invested and iterative and want to be a part of your success, you have to have those people live somewhere, and you have to try to provide enormous value to those people.
What do you mean live? Oh, you mean like put them in a secret?
They got to be in a Discord. They got to be, yeah. They have to have a role. They have to have important. The thing I'm throwing around right now is I think I want to VIP all of the people that are lab members in our chat. I'm just constantly thinking about how to provide these people more value. In addition to the pay can. So what we did in the lab is the pay started very low because we weren't making any revenue. So when the YouTube first started, we were paying per video a very low rate, and then we were adding value. And then as the YouTube started to grow in revenue, I started to grow their income proportional to it so that it made sense. And so the better that the system does, the more money they earn. And now that they're at the point where they're earning competitive rates because the YouTube has done that well.
Wow. I feel like I feel like you have an entire product waiting to happen with the lab system
probably
right now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's also a lot of hidden infrastructure in terms of your processes and the apps that you're using.
I think so. Yeah.
Are you using? Yeah. What are you using to manage all that?
Excel.
Excel? What?
Yeah. We're just using basically Excel. We have spreadsheets that show what's up. Yeah, it's not that dramatic. It's we use Trello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So Trello for YouTube, and then Excel for other shit. So Trello, we have this board where we are you on the stream right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, so we have this board where we have a system of waiting approval, editing, thumbnails, copy.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I have a similar for content. I have mine is very similar in Airtable.
Yeah, so it's basically the people that are coming into the lab, right? They may start with a sort of base skill or understanding of what they're working on. But my goal is to grow them into people that can do this at the top level.
See, I think that's the part that makes a lot of sense. And I feel like you gloss over that as though that's something that comes naturally to everybody. But I feel like maybe it was your experience with CLG or maybe ventures before that where you sort of gained a lot of this managerial experience, maybe, because that's the part because I've been doing this for so long as sort of full-time hustle without a whole lot of experience working in some sort of working with other humans.
Yeah.
And you're so I really like your mindset of trying to find talented, hungry people and then grow them. The challenge is like, man, I just need to put more renewed focus on that, because it's like there's always a constant, like over the years there have been like many iterations of Cross Counter and the people that have come sort of in and out to varying degrees of getting paid and whatnot, but I don't know. I think I gotta put more emphasis on building the team, because it's like I don't know about you, but the past really all year, or like for the past month or 6 weeks, things have just been growing and expanding at such a rapid pace, and I don't know. It's like we're gonna need to pick up like way more people.
Yeah, my feeling is the traditional way of thinking about things is like, I need like a full-time person for this, or I need people like this. My thinking is you start more organically and then you grow those into full-time positions.
Right.
So I fully intend,
exactly.
Yeah, I fully intend most of the people in the lab, if they want to be able to earn like full-time salary in like short order as we grow. And I think
But that's not just all through your stuff, right? Just
no,
like,
it is.
Just Devin Nash stuff.
Absolutely. I think that's wow. We're already paying a person monthly that we weren't able to do now. That's a producer. And so it like as that grows, because think about it, dude. Like look at a person like XQC, right? Yeah. And that's maybe an extreme example. So let's go 500 ticks back from that. If you take any of the top 500 streamers on Twitch, any of those people, they're clearing like 30 to 50K a month. That's a full-time team, no problem. You can pay
totally
6 people.
Right.
Yeah. And then what's your shit going to be worth? Like think about if XQC had a person that was writing for him, if XQC had a person that was selling for him, a person that would like the amount of value that this is going to provide exponentially above like what they're doing now is insane. And they're just not thinking about it, right? Like,
oh well, yeah. I mean, they're not thinking about. Well, who needs to think about anything when you have that? When you're able to ride. I mean, obviously, this is a shit ton of hard work. I'm not discounting that.
Yeah, of course.
It's just that I feel like, especially on Twitch, people will sort of ride waves of popularity and then kind of get to stay there, and then just sort of coast comfortably on their sub button.
Yeah, but that's not good, because these people are made out of existence. Like everyone thinks that like it's not going to be a thing. But to go back to the delegation thing, which I think is like what I'm sensing is like actually like the real value here, like for us talking, is like I think that you have to be willing. This is what it comes down to for me. You have to be willing, because I feel you. I vibe with you super hard, and what I think this is really an issue of is that your work produces a certain level of quality.
I'm a perfectionist control freak. It should be pretty good.
And if you delegate that, you're going to lose a percentage of that, and you don't want to
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So your effort here and your mindset change has to be that you're willing to sacrifice a percentage of quality to get shit done. Especially initially, right? Because here's the long tail, right? Let's say that you have to start a new YouTube channel tomorrow, right? You can do everything yourself at the level of quality that you would expect, but the reality I think is going to be that the channel is going to be objective dog shit for a certain number of months, no matter who works on it, and then that iterative process of learning is going to get better over time. And the truth is, what's 8 months from now, right? Like, what are you going to be doing 8 months from now? You'll be here.
Shit.
Yeah. So like, if you're willing to go through that cost of sacrificing that quality initially for that educational experience for you and your delegates, you'll be exponentially further along in the long term than you will working on it yourself.
That makes perfect sense. I don't know why. You just got a way of explaining things. It makes perfect sense. You at the beginning, because there is no shortcut anyways, it's going to take a bunch of tries, an iterative process to get it right.
Yeah.
And so whether it was you trying to get it right, even at a higher level, it would still be more advantageous to have somebody else even if they start from a lower level, because it's going to take so many tries to get it right
Exactly.
anyways. 50 tries into anything, anybody would be better at it than the first time.
And when we mesh these things together over the long tail, when we're really thinking about years and years of content creation, or even months of content creation, these like small hiccups of learning just don't register, right? Like what registers is the gradual uptick, which is, if you look at my YouTube, where like we started the YouTube seriously about 5 months ago, my thumbnails and titles are dog shit, right? But I'm using that introspection, and I'm working with my team that every single process we try to learn about why things work. And then occasionally we have a hit, right? Oh shit, like a video gets 30K when all of our other videos are doing 5K. What happens, right?
Right,
You think
right.
about that, you say, okay, something worked here. You go off that theme, you iterate. You remember A/B testing and PPC?
Yep.
Same shit,
100%.
dude, but
how do you?
yeah.
You can't really A/B test anything on YouTube.
You can't, but yes, you can. You can't A/B test thumbnails. You can't A/B test titles, but you can build a portfolio of what works by observing past success. Because you can look at the watch time of your videos, and you can look at the engagement of your videos. You can say, okay, something I did here worked, and then you keep iterating on that. It worked again, it worked again, it worked again. So I'm at a point now where I know that if I release esports meta content, I know it's gonna fucking kill it. So like the 100 Thieves compound video that I had out 5 days ago is the best performing video on my channel of all time. It's already at 60K views. I knew it was going to do that, had a reasonable way to know that I was gonna do that because of the phase content I did before that, because of the Mark Cuban esports stuff that I did before that, right? I was able to understand that based on that past history of success. And that's why I'm saying you leverage that long tail of content that it's so beneficial, because that iterative process, that process of learning, right, is helping you understand for every future piece of content you do. That's why you have to be so invested in it, and you have to be willing to produce dog shit.
Well, good news. Producing dog shit is my middle name.
But it is, but it isn't, right? Because you in your mind right now have a commitment to quality, which I respect, because you're again, this is one of the problems with old school marketing. We did everything ourselves. Like when I was holy shit, when I built ebook websites, I did fucking everything. I built the authorized.net backend. I built the sales backend, the delivery system. I did the email list. I did the fucking affiliate campaigns. I did the pay-per-click campaigns. I did everything. Right? Yeah.
I'm still in.
And I get it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not totally there, but I'm like mostly there.
Mm-hmm.
Like 70% still there, because I think the biggest challenge, I feel like, is the writing.
The writing?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a writer, but I can see like poor written grammar just it's just an eyesore.
Did you ever take traditional copywriting classes?
I've not taken traditional copywriting classes except for listening to Magnetic Marketing from Dan Kennedy. That's it. That was the extent.
Okay, so the first $15,000 in profit that I made on my ebooks, I invested back into copywriting courses. And so I bought Jay Abrams courses mostly.
Ooh.
Jay Abrams has a book.
The master.
I think so. Yeah, like Jay Abrams has a book called Getting Everything You Can Out of All You've Got.
Yes.
And this is probably the best. This is a very big statement, but I would say one of the best, if not the best, book on marketing ever written.
Wow.
It is a insanely good book. It's one of those books where it's like you can read. It's like Kahil Gibran it's like a Bible. You can read it like Psalms. You just go through and be like,
totally.
Oh, okay, I can do this. Yeah. So I spent, and other people like, dude, like this is like, okay, a 17-year-old kid that's spending $15,000 on marketing and stuff. Everybody said I was an idiot, right? They're like, dude, go buy shit. You know, like go do stuff, right? But that copywriting skill, that writing skill has the exponential value of that going forward. I can't even quantify it. It's so you can still learn copywriting. Like it's such a really good skill to have.
No, it really is, and it sucks because it comes up so often.
It does, yeah.
And by the time I get to it, after setting up all the other stuff, it's like my brain doesn't have very much left in terms of, coming up with the proper words. And now, I guess I've sort of spent a lot more time recently over the past month or two working on Dex, which is its own flavor of copywriting
is.
to an extent. What are you? What's you guys' deck situation?
In
I mean, I
terms
feel
of-
like I don't know. Like, I feel like you guys you must have like a deck maker or a deck master on hand to put out decks for like everybody on Nerd Fusion.
Okay, so here's my deck philosophy. And for context in chat, we have to provide a lot of context. We're talking super high level. Usually, I love this because this is like my jam. But like I'm gonna provide a little bit of context for the.
Of course.
When we say deck chat, what we mean is a series of like slides or presentations that you can then use to sell something, right? So think you're thinking like Magic the Gathering, but think like a visual representation of a product or service that we offer, okay? Like a pitch deck. So here's my thinking on decks. I think you have, and this is some crazy shit. I think you have a base template deck that you can generally draw from that's like 20 slides, okay? Which is way too long for a traditional marketing deck, right? Then I think you make every single deck customized to your particular person that you're selling to. So,
Yes.
For example, I'll show you the deck so we have a client now that's the U.S. Army, and I'll show you like how that worked.
Did you do U.S. Army? Wait,
Let me pull that up real quick.
were you part of the Street Fighter V stuff they were doing last year?
No, we're doing activations on the esports side. But I will show you the deck that we had for them, and you will get, because I think the best way to understand this is visually. So the idea is, so most people, I think their problem is they don't want to put into the work for something that is not a guaranteed sale. And they don't.
You're like,
yeah.
What are you, a mind reader?
yeah, right. Like
I was deck phobic for I don't know 10 years because of that exact reason. Because I, up until maybe last year or the year before, the idea of working with sponsors and having to put together proposals and decks and stuff just seemed so amazingly intimidating and kind of like out of reach that I was like, well, there's no guarantee of success when it comes to this. So instead, I'm just going to focus on content and the stuff that I can control and I can have, the impact that I want.
Yes.
But then last year, when we were doing our Bar Fights event during EVO weekend, 2018, I guess, last year and the year before, just really had to spend a lot of time, pitching sponsors, and then finally, I don't know, something just clicked, and then I was like, I think getting a few wins, and even though it was hard with the shitty deck, I think it got, or maybe really, like you're saying, iteration. It's like I failed on the first, I don't know how many, couple dozen deals, and then all of a sudden started to get the hang of it, and then started to hear yes more often, and now I think I'm pretty good at building decks, but it's still mostly me.
Yeah, and that goes back to the overarching problem, right? Is like the mindset thing. But Paintbrush, do you have our deck that we can pull up for the army?
The CLG deck.
I found a CLG one while we were talking. But so look, this is our specific sell to MSI. So we have a base template deck, right? Which is I think I actually found it. Hang on one second. Let me make sure this is it. I think this is right. Yeah. Okay, so here you go. So this is the Nerd Fusion deck that we made for the army. Okay, so look how customized this is to the needs of the U.S. Army, right? Like, we aren't using a template here. This is a fucking helicopter with goddamn Spec Ops guys in the woods and shit, right? Like, we made this deck for the U.S. Army, right? 100%. And we had no guarantee of a deal, by the way, right? Like, we had absolutely no. This is literally intro level talks, right? Like, there's no idea. Like we could make this entire deck, and then the deal could never form. But
Yes, that's where I'm at right now
Right.
with one of mine.
but right, like number one, making that deck gives you that experience, and number two, the impression that you have on the person by making them a custom deck with no guarantee of any kind of receipt. You don't owe us anything. Here's our value to you. We care about you enough that we're going to make something especially for you with no guarantee of sale. That's real shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Okay, maybe that's why I've had some. Okay, so let me ask you this: when you were actually making the deck, or before, no, wait, go back to the
Oh, yeah,
deck.
sure.
No.
Yeah.
No. When did you guys make it? Did you already have a conversation first, or did you get the heads up that this was an opportunity and then made the deck and then basically presented the deck in the first meeting?
So it depends. I think the army deck was actually like after one or two phone call conversations. And then this MSI deck was like, I think this deck looks like to me an actual like this was probably part of a deck that I cut out that was actually an ask. Like we were at a point where we didn't get the MSI deal, by the way. But I made all these assets and like we didn't convert on it. But I also made all these assets for people like 5 Hour Energy, which we did convert on, right? And we did have like a lot of success with. So these like this took time, right? Like thinking of a jersey with a design with the MSI logo on it, like this actually took an investment of time. But it was that, and so even though we were like, I would say it doesn't really matter where you are in the process. If you're beyond the first call and they've said they're interested, I think you make assets for them. That's my take. Yeah.
Yeah, we sometimes, let's see, the decks that I made. In this instance, we got the heads up on an opportunity to do an event in Vegas during NFL draft weekend, which unbeknownst to me until Friday is like a huge deal to sports ball people.
Yeah.
And here in Vegas, they're gonna close down the strip for 3 days, I guess.
Shit. That's a lot.
Yeah. It's a pretty big deal. So it's one of these instances where it came to me because I through a good friend of mine who's got a real connection with one of the hotels, and so we basically cobbled together a deck in 45 minutes to go convince my friend that this was the way to go. And so now we have a meeting Friday where, we haven't had any direct contact with the hotel, but we're going to have to basically take what we know of the project secondhand and then put that into a deck with our solution and then take it to them on Friday and basically pitch it totally cold because we haven't had any contact with the hotel itself.
I think that's great. And I think another lesson there in that is I remember a story where I was like, it just didn't feel like CLG was like really pushing forward. And my business partner is a guy named George Hotshot GG. And he, Hotshot GG is like a soothsayer in the sense that like, he's like a guy that waves his dick at traffic most of the time. But then when you talk to him, like occasionally tells you your future. He's
George.
Yeah,
okay,
George.
yes.
Yeah, he's a prophet. Like, right? Like he comes in, he drops some like super real shit, and then he goes back to like his like own universe. So George came in one day and he taught me like a really important lesson that I've never forgot, which is like you said, like, hey, we basically had 45 hours to scuff together a deck. We call that being scrappy, and I think what that means is like, especially big organizations like Twitch suffers from this more than anybody else I know, right? Like, which is like they're just not fast enough. Where it's like if you're willing to sacrifice. You got 45 minutes, not even 45 hours. You said 45 minutes. Yeah,
45 minutes.
Yeah, even better. Yeah, like putting something together in a fast amount of time, and being willing to just be scrappy, just be able to fight fast and deliver something, even if it's shit, is like such a good value in business, because the number one problem that everyone that's keeping everyone away from success is overthinking and overanalyzing shit. Like,
That's my second middle name.
Yeah,
Gutex dog shit production overthinking.
The Gutex got dog shit overthinking production.
Yep.
Like, is it? You know, it's this thing of like, is this going to be good? Is this going to convert well? Is this going to be good? Is this going to convert bad? Is this going to be like 99.9% of people are thinking like, man, oh, this could happen or this could happen, when like, all you need to do really is just, number one, you be consistent. You sit there and you're like, okay, I'm going to keep doing this shit, and you be iterative. You learn from every action, and like, you trust the process. Your body and your mind is going to be able to evolve, because that's what we do. We learn from shit, right? You're going to get better as you create stuff. But the one thing that I really started thinking about a lot with this is like, you had 45 minutes to make a deck, but you made a deck and you showed it to them. And that would be so much better than sitting around for 45 minutes and being like, what do we do now? When you create something physical in the world, you know, like when you create something physical in the world and it's there, like it makes such a bigger this is one of the reasons why I hate Twitch streams, right? Is because like you make a Twitch stream, you create a VOD which nobody watches, and it's gone. Right? So
It's
like
disposable.
It's disposable. Yeah, it really is by its inherent nature. But if you create a YouTube video, that's evergreen. It's something that exists there, can be discussed. I had a video 8 months ago. It was like how legal VBots work on Twitch is about embeds. And the video was sitting at like 8K views. And it was just like, and I was like, I had forgotten about it, right? And then 7 months later, like starting last month, the video started to get 10K views a day. And now it's the most watched video on the channel. It's like 250K.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I had no idea why, but that would never happen to a Twitch VOD.
Right.
You would never, because for one, Twitch deletes your fucking VODs after 60 days, right? But your YouTube videos can still be searched and still be relevant, and that's the same with like Instagram posts. It's the same with like evergreen TikTok content, things like that. No, I don't even think it's true with clips. I've never heard of a clip like just suddenly becoming 100,000 more. Like, yeah, if it's on Reddit and gets featured, like it's that time-sensitive content, and then it's gone. You know?
Totally.
Yeah. And so I think that sort of idea of like, put together a scrappy fucking 45-minute deck, because that's something. It's something physical you can, well, not physical, but you can hold it and give it to somebody, right?
Right. Sorry. I missed all that.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, I think putting together a 45-minute deck and being scrapped with it, it's a thing you have now. That's
right.
An evergreen thing that you have, that you produce.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm trying to. I'm trying to build up the master deck so that we have a slide for all of the various products, services, and ideas and whatnot. That way, it's much faster, because I think. I think you're right on about sort of customizing the deck. I mean, I guess I never really thought about it. I just started doing it because I started using Canva recently.
What's that? Oh,
Canva.
It's like a deck creation tool, the online thing.
Yeah, it does. It does like all kinds of graphics. There's great templates, so you can do everything from decks to social media, like templates. So Square Instagram posts, Twitter, Facebook header banners, YouTube thumbnail templates, all kinds of stuff. But I started using it. I was trying out a bunch of these different services because I was trying to make infographics.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I really need to do more of, is make
infographics.
Yeah,
Dude.
That's an incredibly powerful place that I'm underutilizing. If I did infographics for like how to grow streams and stuff like that, like holy fuck, like it would be insane. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you got to check out Canva, because the infographics templates is what made me a believer, and I think that was one of the primary reasons why one of the decks that I made got approved, because the infographic slide looked the timeline infographic slide looked so good, and it looked so legit, and the other thing about Canva is you can upload with the Pro plan, you can upload your own custom fonts. So that way, and create brand palettes. So that way you can, like sort of halfway or a third into the deck, I sort of changed the branding of it to match who I was sending it to.
You're still thinking in terms of if see when I hear you say this, I'm like, I'm not gonna do that shit, right? Like I'm gonna get our best graphics people to do that, and then learn.
Well,
that
totally.
process.
Well, okay. So
totally.
My designer was MIA for a while, but I talked to him yesterday, and so I basically talked to him. I was like, look, I've been making these decks, but how do we work together in an iterative process where I can basically send him like a Otter voice memo. Are you familiar with Otter?
Of course. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
You're the first person. Okay,
Otter's fantastic. I use Anchor, but I know Otter 100%. Yeah.
Okay, I maybe put like 24 people onto Otter.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Nobody is. Yeah. Otter is amazing. So I want to basically just because I'm better at talking than I am, writing in a business fashion, right? So it's easier for me to sit and record a voice memo and explain the idea, and hopefully my designer can be like, oh, okay, cool. Let me just make however many slides we need.
Yeah. I use a similar system called Pablo from Buffer. Have you heard of this?
Oh, okay, yeah. I use Buffer.
So Pablo is a system where you can really easily size, you can very easily like size posts. So if you want, guys, if you're like small content creators, you want to save a lot of time and you don't have a team, like you can post like right here, like I can make a post that's ideal for Instagram. Here I can make a post that's ideal for Twitter and Facebook. Here's Pinterest, right? And you can change the contrast and things like that so that you can change the background. You can make things. You can make a blank template, or you can upload a photo here, and then you can size it for Instagram automatically. It's pablo.buffer.com, which I'll link in chat as well.
So are you using Buffer to manage social for other people?
I use Later, actually.
You use Later too? Okay, yeah. So I was a Buffer. I was like a Buffer guy for so long.
I love Buffer.
I still have it, but then Later has the ability to schedule stories because they're part of the Instagram cartel.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's right. Well, they can schedule stories. They can also schedule videos. And for that reason, if you're using Instagram, you pretty much have to use Later.
Yeah. Well, so with Buffer, you used to be able to do that. You used to be able to schedule videos, but now it's all different. But either way, Buffer can't schedule stories anymore anyways. Yeah. Oh, man. I went down such a rabbit hole because I was trying to automate the... Do you use Zapier or Integromat?
What are those? I haven't heard of those.
All right, Devin. Well, look I'll trade you.
Yeah.
I'll trade you. I'm about to blow your mind.
Oh, baby.
Change your whole business up. All I need is an invite to the lab. Oh, baby. Take a look.
What is Zapier?
I can't, bro. How are you gonna say you're a Tim Ferriss fan? You don't know about Zapier,
Is this a recent thing?
No, I've been using Zapier for years.
What the fuck is it? All right.
Zapier, IFT, and Integromat are like the holy trinity of automating processes in your business based on APIs talking to each other.
Okay.
So, for example, with Zapier, once you have your Zap or automation sequence set up, you can do things like every time I post a photo every time I make a tweet, add a log with all of the metadata and the contents to a row in Google Sheets.
Holy shit! Oh, dude, that's insane. Automatically?
This is why I thought you were using Buffer.
No,
because Buffer has such Buffer works really well with Zapier, so you could do stuff like the way I used to use it was whenever I post a video on YouTube, then that gets put into the Buffer queue, and then on a specified interval, like later today and tomorrow and next week and 30 days and 6 months from now, Zapier will basically take the same post and then put it back into the buffer at a later date, times like 6 or whatever.
Hold
'Cause
on. So can you schedule a YouTube video and then automate it to go out to Facebook like 2 weeks later via that process?
You
To
can't
syndicate
do
content?
it. You can't do it with. You can't do it like that in terms of, let's say, upload a video to YouTube and then have that syndicated on Facebook. You could use something like vidIQ or TubeBuddy for that, but this would be more for sort of recycling, sort of like automating the posts to sort of continually promote previous content passively, because right now when you make a post, okay, sweet, finally I got one. I got one, you guys. You see, I got one on the, yeah. All right, there we go.
Okay. Can you talk to chat for like 10 seconds? Because I gotta tell our manager to look at this. That is actually game changing, baby.
Oh,
okay.
shit. Oh shit.
Yeah,
Devin's got to stop the show. Oh, we got a revelation, guys.
Right.
All right, go for it. All right, guys. Well, welcome to the new co-host of the Devin Nash Show. My name is Gutex. You can hit the follow button here on Twitch to get notified when Devin and I go live. You can, if you hit the subscribe button, there are various perks available, such as being first to know about the new Devin Nash green tea flavors, strains as they were. You can also, where's the text message? Where's Devin's number? Hold on. He must have his, okay, so Devin hasn't set up his personal text message phone number yet, but whenever that's available, you can sign up for that, and that'll get you into priority for shipping on the new Devin Nash green tea subscription package, where you can get some of Devin's favorite green tea strains and flavors delivered to you every month, so that you can enjoy the same green tea as Devin does when he sits here and talks about the meta when it comes to gaming, esports, building your brand, all of these things. And you can make sure to also subscribe on YouTube, and hit the bell button so you can get notified when Devin uploads a new video, such as this 100 Thieves compound waste of millions or next big thing video.
Yeah, that video.
Oh, you're
is
back.
Killing it. Hello. Yes. Sorry, I had to
What'd
tell
he say?
our man, like, he's super excited to look into it. I had to explain it though, because like it's pretty complicated, so he had to understand the implications of it.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy to help you guys, figure out all the processes to automate and how to do it.
This is one of those things where I can like sit down on my couch with like a doobie and a notepad, and I can like think for like fucking 3 hours about how this shit will apply to the business. Yeah, it's actually unreal. It's like actually crazy.
Every service that I use now essentially has to integrate with either Zapier, Integromat, or IFT.
Interesting.
And Zapier and IFT are pretty easy to get the hang of once you get used to it, but Integromat is where the real power is. And so I've actually tell me if this would be okay. You deal with a lot of talent, right?
Yeah.
And when you're dealing with brand deals, and sometimes I'm imagining this includes a certain number of hours streamed, or running the sponsors ads inside the stream, or maybe even making a highlight video that sort of showcases some of the campaign that these guys just paid for, right? maybe would it be useful to have a way to compile all of the relevant Twitch clips across as many different channels as you needed and pull those clips in automatically so that whoever is doing your editing on your team doesn't have to go out and find all these clips and then download them or screen record them manually. You just already have them all in one place, so they can just download all of the clips at once, thereby dramatically reducing the time that it takes to actually compile a highlight reel.
All in one place.
Oh,
Where
like
would
let's
they-
say on their hard drive?
Like on a Google Drive?
No, like it's stored in the cloud, and then they just download them all to their computer.
Yeah, that's insanely valuable. I know at Nerd Fusion, Matt made a script. He's my business partner, made a script to do that in a way. And he managed to, I think what he did was he took the most viewed clips from Twitch streams for a particular streamer and just mashed them all together. But he wasn't able to individually separate them out. That would be immensely valuable to someone like me, because like lots of the clips that are created by the community here, we're trying to make become Instagram or TikTok content, right? Because that's so if there was a way for this to work, that would be insanely valuable. Yes. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great minds think alike. Good news. Good news, Devin. Oh, you know what? How long have you been doing this channel?
Oh, this channel here, Devin Nash. It's deceptive, but 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah, but no
But
one.
when was the rebrand then?
Right, that's the real question. Yeah, exactly. So, because no one cared who I was until I put on the Nash. I'd say about 8-9 months ago, guys. Yeah, around there. 8 months ago.
Wow.
Or so.
Oh my God, you are a monster.
I think Twitch died.
Oh, did we? Oh,
Yeah.
did we get shut down?
Yeah, do we get shut down? The information is too valuable to. The information is too valuable for Twitch.
That's right.
What? Guys, press 1, 2, 3 when you hear this. 1, 2, 3 when you hear this, please. So I can just figure out what the delay is. Oh, okay, it's instant. All right, we're good. Yeah, 100%. Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. So we didn't cover that much offline. We were just talking about how we think that our skill sets are very similar, but that there are like edges of both sides that we could like very greatly improve, like help each other on.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally,
Mhm.
totally. Okay. This thing is going.
And we're getting progressively more excited about our marketing.
Here's the thing. I don't have anybody, dude. Like, I don't have anybody to talk to about this stuff, dude. Nobody gets it.
Well, a lot of it is because I think in the new like content age, nobody thinks like this, and in the old one, they're all multimillionaires, so they're just like hanging out on fucking yachts and shit, like Frank Kern and shit. Like, you know, they're just like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're like in some foreign country, like with like a MacBook Air in like Thailand, like with like a $400 apartment that's like 6 rooms, you know, like it's like that kind of shit. Like it's just a different type of thing.
What are we doing with our lives?
Yeah.
This is the level that we need to get on, and you know the saying, in a gold rush, you can mine for gold, or you can sell pickaxes and shovels.
Yep.
I'm trying to sell pickaxes and shovels.
100%, dude.
Because
100%.
I don't care at all about this gold. I just want to. It's not the move.
There's so many people that like it blows my mind. Like in 2020, like we still have people that are like, I want to become a YouTuber. I want to become a Twitch streamer. Right? Why don't you want to become a brand? Why don't you want to become a marketer? Right? Like. Why don't you want to become a person that actually represents all these? Like, you do not need to be a Twitch streamer. You need to be fucking ubiquitous. You need to provide value on every level, right?
I think it needs to be qualified first by just asking somebody's age, because you only want to be right. Like, young people want to be a Twitch streamer because they've never seen their favorite platform go away.
Mhm.
They haven't been around long enough
To see
to see
MySpace.
MySpace.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
Dig.
Yeah.
Do you remember Dig?
Oh, of course I do. Yeah.
Oh,
I use Dig all
what
the
a-
time.
Ah,
Yeah.
I mean, so it's really easy for young people who have not seen the decline of everything that they love on the internet,
Yeah.
one by one.
Yeah. They think that everything lasts forever.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
no, it definitely does not.
Yeah. And even if, and a lot of times, if you're, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier, and I think this is like one of the most important things. If you are singular to a platform, that platform may outlive you, right? Like there are plenty of Twitch streamers that nobody talks about anymore. And more importantly, if we look at a longer cycle market, right? Like YouTube, where YouTube has been around longer than Twitch, a lot of the YouTubers who first started on YouTube and even had millions of followers are not relevant at all now. They didn't diversify. They don't have brands. They went back to going to do regular jobs, whatever. Everyone, the thing is like, and the number of people in esports too. I remember in 2015, 2016, when I was running Dignitas, there were a lot of people that, Dignitas NA with Odie, there were a lot of people that came into, you know, Odie? Like old school.
I've met Odie once,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize that I didn't realize you were also running Dignitas and CLG.
Well, Dignitas was like my first gig. Like I did the NA division with Odie, and then after that we did CLG. And so like when that dude, like there are plenty of people. Like right now, I know a couple of people that were in the LCS. Right. They were League of Legends pros, and now they work at gas stations.
Ooh,
Like-
cautionary tales.
Yeah, well, because they didn't take the time to build their brand. And like I would always be talking to these guys. Like and they'd come in, they'd be like, all I want to do is compete. I don't want to do any kind of content. I don't want to do any kind of thing like that. And then it's like, okay, like you're gonna pay the price later on because you're not building your actual equity.
It's true.
What's the difference
It's
between Bjergsen and everyone else on TSM? Right? It's brand. That's
Yep.
it. Right?
Yep.
Think
Your
Bjergsen worries about
brand-
his spot on TSM, even
Nope.
if he underperforms by 20%?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
the
matter.
brand will
Mhm.
keep you. Well, the brand will, help keep you safe. The brand will
Mhm.
help you carry
Negotiate.
forward.
Yeah, it'll help you
100%.
everything. Yeah.
100%. I mean, because here's the thing: like at the end of the day, it's just about eyeballs, attention, and how much money you can generate.
Yeah.
And you can be the best player on the planet, but there will always be a better player.
Yeah. Somebody will come along.
Somebody will come along.
Yeah.
And if
that-
you're dependent solely on your performance, man, you better be able to sustain that level of performance forever.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Which nobody
it's
can.
not gonna last. No, of
Mhm.
course not. Every competitive career has the same cycle.
Yep.
It's just a question of how long can you get that to last.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
content is, well, sort of building a brand to extend past your competitive results is essentially the modern day retirement plan.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, I don't want to be in any business where some 16-year-old kid can come in and absolutely fucking oust me, right? Like,
Right.
one of the reasons why I've tried to spend my entire life building so much equity in the marketing skill is like everything you learn about how to sell to other people and how to design and how to create something of value is one step. So like when I'm fucking like 80 million years old and I'll be there and I'll be like, and I'll just be like, this is how you sell. Like no 16-year-old kid is gonna come in and just gonna, he might go viral. He might be lucky, but he doesn't know how he did it. Right?
Right.
But I will be able to consistently produce those results because of that equity that I've built in understanding that process.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The experience that you gain
Yes.
from building your brand is more important than any sort of short-term gains that either were won through competition
Yeah.
or getting lucky, going viral.
Exactly. Mhm.
Because you have to know when you succeeded because you were good, or or you succeeded because you were lucky.
Yeah, and I also believe that there's very much a forced culture in luck. Like luck is a super overrated. There's so many people that are like, oh, like Dr. Disrespect was lucky, and it's like, no, bitch, that guy was making content for 10 fucking years on YouTube. Like one of the if you ever want to go on like an LSD inspired trip, like go into Dr. Disrespect's YouTube videos and search by old. Have you ever done this?
No, I didn't even know that he was a YouTuber.
Yeah, that's how he started. It's bizarre. Like, you can go through this, and if you sort by the oldest stuff, there are like these weird like TV videos of him doing these like acts, and they're super like they're just fucking bizarre, man. Like you go, I'm telling you, it's some crazy shit.
Love it.
Like,
I mean, this is how you develop a character.
Super weird, yes. And like the point was that like he was iterative, right? And like what first video 10 years ago, right? And like he made videos over and over and over and over again until he built this person.
Well, I mean, that's where so many people focus on what they think is the goal instead of the process.
Yes,
because people think like, okay, well, if I'm going to be the next streamer, or I'm going to be the next Ninja, or the next PewDiePie, or whatever. So I'm going to invest a bunch of money to make sure I have the best possible quality stream, and then I'm going to start streaming with no audience, no experience, and I'm going to keep going from now until for as long as it takes. And for most people, that takes about 2 to 3 months, and then they call it a day and go do something else. Yeah. Because they were spending they invested too much effort and resources versus what they were able to get out of it.
I get so many people that are in my chats that are like, I'm trying to decide between the Sony a6500 camera and the 9000 AG 1000 camera. It'll cost me approximately, I had like one guy unironically that was like a 5-year streamer that like came in and started talking to me about how buying an IRL backpack for streaming was like a legitimate expense and that everyone should do it. And I was like, okay, that's going to cost you $3,000 base, and then it's going to cost you $1,000 a month on top of that, right? To run that stream to literally nobody. Like people don't realize, like, you have a phone, right? Just fucking take, like,
exactly.
Yeah, just be scrappy. Like, okay, fucking get your shitty $10 C9, whatever. If there's anything you could ever learn about content, it's that quality doesn't. There are so many scuffed bullshit fucking YouTube videos out there with millions of views, okay? Like that guy that fucking set up that shitty camera with the trumpet and plays the song for the cows has like 1 billion views. Have you seen that video?
I have not.
It's exactly as it's a guy plays trumpet for cows. Yeah.
Like, but you don't need need good quality until you actually need good quality.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, we're somehow still here. Yeah. Exactly. Like, how are we still on the Dr. Disrespect video, guys? Like, okay, there we go. He just plays his trombone, and then cows come. 17 million views. Like, you don't need. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, you don't need amazing quality. What you need is amazing content. And
exactly.
Playing trumpet for cows coming over this horizon is something I've never seen before.
Yeah, dude, was that for a stream though? Dude, do you think that XQC is like the top content creator on Twitch? Does he have sliding screens that fold over into different scenes? Does he have a fucking Sony? No, it's literally a guy farted into a mic with a fucking $50 headset. It doesn't matter, dude. He's the most popular streamer on Twitch.
Yep.
And he doesn't have shit. Like it doesn't matter. Like all y'all that are spending like fucking thousands of dollars on equipment and shit like that, right? Like, sure, look, there are people that are dedicated to quality like Dr. Disrespect, but you better believe that Dr. Disrespect didn't have that setup before he was Dr. Disrespect.
Totally.
Yeah.
And when you look at those old videos, it looks to me like he just started with what he already had.
Yeah.
And you know, people get this idea in their head that there's some sort of secret, or that they, for whatever reason, are going to defy the odds, not really understanding that it's consistency over a really long period of time.
You know what it really is, man? And I thought about this a lot. It's another way to procrastinate. That's what it
Oh,
is.
well, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
totally.
it's the same people that are entrepreneurs, and they're like, I need to have my desk, I need to have my chair, I need to have my setup, I have to have all of my programs ready, I have to have my email set up. It's like, no, all you need to do is just the thing. But
Right.
you don't want to do it because you're scared. You're scared you're going to fucking fail. So you're going to put everything in front of it. You're going to spend all this money. You're going to do everything you can to create distance between you and the thing you need to do.
I do it all the time.
I do that shit too. I mean, like,
Yeah.
dude, it's a super real part of being human, but it's the consciousness of that I think, like, the more aware that you can be of it, the better it gets. And I highlighted that because that's something we need as like a short TikTok team. We fucking need that right there. There's so much procrastination in this world.
Well, it's easier. It's easy to procrastinate. It's easier to procrastinate than it is to, work up the courage, I think, for some people to just turn on the stream and see what happens without trying to figure out all of the little details. It's just because, I don't know, like, people get this idea that they want to be this person or they want to do this thing, but without actually really considering what it's going to take and the consistency over a long period of time, and then over investing time, resources, and then not seeing the results, getting frustrated, and then the shit goes on sale when they don't need their C9000 or whatever camera they got.
And I think I totally agree. I think, like, the other thing too is that, like, people think that, like, you and I are, like, immune to this. Like, dude, we struggle with this every
more than anybody.
day. Yeah, exactly. It's just that, but it's that, I tell, like, people like ask me all the time. They're like, Devin, like, how are you so motivated? Like, how are you so on fire? It's like, dude, I wake up every day and my first mode is like, welp, it's time to eat cookies. It's time to smoke some weed. It's time to play Path of Exile for 16 hours. It's time to, like, right? Like, that's every day for me. Like, I don't wake up like, whoa, let's do it. Yeah. Like, I literally wake up and I'm like what? I don't want to fucking exist. Like, I just want to, and, like, right? And it's like, you have to just wrangle that shit into, like, a V-neck jujitsu choke and be like, shut up, bitch. Put it down and be like, okay, we're doing this thing. We're doing it. All right, and then you get up and go. Like, it's you force it, like
I mean, well, here's the thing: motivation comes and goes, which is why it's more important to build the habit, because the habit of being consistent will carry you through in terms of your actions when your motivation
fails
doesn't.
you. Yeah, when you're sick, when you're tired, when you don't want to do it. Mm-hmm.
And that's why, like, when it comes to content, it has to be so manageable in terms of the effort, resources, and time you spend on it, that you could do it every day for years, or let's say do it every week for years, without it becoming so resource intensive, either mentally as well.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know. Like, that's where people get stuck, it seems.
Well, that's why I don't understand how people on Twitch can do shit like a 10 to 12 hour stream every day, and then, like, expect this to be remotely sustainable, right?
I mean,
like,
right, exactly. Is it sustainable, right?
Yeah,
like, even when it comes to YouTube, right? People, because people ask me, like, about that stuff, and I'm like, well, how much time did you spend on it? And they're like, I don't know, a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so you mean like couple hours a day for a couple of days? They're like, well, like, maybe like half a day, twice. So I'm like, okay, so 8 hours a day you spend on this video, and you've never really done videos before, and you're not trying to be the world's greatest video editor, and you spend all this time trying to get all this shit perfect, and then 10 people watch. Now, how long can you go about spending, let's say, 1/5 of your theoretical work week on something that generates no views, no money, no impact, you can only do that for a couple of weeks before life catches up and you're like, well, I guess I'm not going to be a YouTuber after all.
Yeah, same as the people that are on like our Twitch that are streaming for a year every day, and they're like, I don't get it. I'm playing Doki Doki Adventure at 3 a.m. every day, and nothing's working.
Why does nobody watch?
Yeah. It's like, have you ever sat back and like thought about your process for like 2 seconds, where it's like, like you've been streaming for a year. And like you haven't once, like you're just like everything's fine, like it's gonna happen. And like one of the things I do is like a very sick hobby. Like this is like some like Saw shit, like what that clown with the tricycle.
Yeah.
I sort by 0 viewers, and I go in and I watch the streams incognito, and I just see what they're doing. Right, and there'll just be a guy like clicking through menus, and like and like they'll just be like going like quick, and like occasionally talking, and they'll have like their whole brand, and they'll have all these custom graphics and stuff and everything, but it's just the most boring ass shit ever. They're never thinking about
totally,
it.
Totally. It's like the balance, right? The people who can get all of those details right are not actually the people where it matters if they get it right.
Yeah,
because the part that people miss is, what is it about me? How can I create and deliver value to an audience over a consistent period of time? What value does one person at 3 a.m. streaming Doki Doki Adventure, what value does that person bring?
Yeah.
And it's like, what people... the way that people need to think about like streaming, if they were to insist on starting with Twitch, is like, you need to just think about, how can I create highlights and clips from this stream that can be put onto other platforms, like YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, to help build an audience that can then eventually make the time to watch me on Twitch when I'm live.
Or the way I think about it in like even a broader sense is like, how do I express the most authentic and best version of myself for others? Right? How do I incorporate the thing? Because here's the thing. Like what I've learned through, like the one thing I've learned through life of all the fucking years we've been on this planet, because we're fucking old and like, right? Like there's like one thing I've learned. Every single person is interesting. Every single person. Every single person has something that, like, when they evoke it at their greatest level, they are fucking fascinating. And so many people, they ignore that. They try to get rid of it. They try to push it away because they've been taught that being unique is bad, or they've been taught that like these are things you shouldn't do. You should fit in. You should do these things. And fuck, like when you are willing to share that unique aspect of you that makes you authentic, like that is the real value that you have as a human being. Is that uniqueness that makes you you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is your unique selling proposition.
That is your USP. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody's got one, but people really try to hold it back, especially when with the societal conditioning, and then thinking about having like normal day 9-to-5 job. But it's like those days are numbered, and people that are watching stuff on Twitch, like people that are growing up right now, like they're not going to have a 40-hour-a-week desk job that they got to go to.
We're going to automate all that shit. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Zapier is coming to take your lunch money. And AI is a real thing.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to think about what is going to be the 2 to 4 side hustles that make what was previously one desk job.
Yeah.
That's the way of the world.
And I read somewhere a pretty reliable source. I remember that 40% of America already is like freelance contractors. They're people that are already doing this, right? So the question is like, in an environment where it's no longer like, okay, you've got this one skill that you just apply for a job and you go get your 9-to-5. Like, what is valuable? Well, it's creative expression. It's shit that robots can't do. We hope, right? Like it's stuff that in your most creative and authentic expression and your evocation of that, whether you do design or whether you do videos or content or whatever, or programming or whatever it is, like it's that expression that makes you valuable as a human being, right?
Yeah, and being able to take that expression and the expertise and then turn that either into content or services or both or digital products. I mean,
Yes.
that's the part where I feel like because me and you have that sort of Dan Kennedy, Jay Abraham background, like that's why I'm always thinking about digital products, right? Because
Same. Yeah.
because because of guys like Tim Ferriss and Robert Kiyosaki, I was just like, okay, cool.
I'm a big
How
Robert
do-
Kiyosaki guy also. Read
Yeah,
all of his
dude.
books. Yeah.
That's what started for me actually.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yep, Rich
Yeah.
Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
It was funny. My mom, when I was in high school, my mom was like, "Gotta read this, gotta read this." I'm like, "Whatever, mom, whatever." And then finally, when I read it in college, I was like, "Oh my god, this is it definitely changed the way that it definitely changed my life."
yeah.
Because after that, I was just like, "Oh, okay, cool. Well, I mean, passive income is the way because time freedom is what matters." And the best way to, it was difficult to do passive income, before the internet, right? Because
Oh, yeah.
how would you do it? You're a homeowner. You have property. Okay, maybe that's one way.
You had to have you had to have a big business. Like you had
Right.
to, yeah. Mhm.
Or you
like,
had
own
you're an
Ford.
artist. You have a
Mhm.
CD on a record label.
I
like
mean,
okay.
the classic way was investing, right? That would be the way.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Right.
The-
If you had
markets,
money,
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But now, I mean, like a person with no money can make passive income, right?
Right.
And it's just like the ecosystem has changed. We're talking about a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's a book about how to think about income, and it's by a guy named Robert Kiyosaki. I actually bought the Rat Race game, the board game.
Oh, dude!
Yeah,
I me too. I played it. Yes, played it.
Let's
Played
go.
it played it one time at a family dinner.
Oh my god, that's
I-
awesome! You're the only person
I
I've
won.
ever met that bought that fucking. It was like $150. It was
Oh, yeah.
insanely overpriced.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
So Robert,
It was
yeah,
it was fun. I wonder where it is now. Oh man, we should play it.
hell yeah, dude! Like that's some sick content, dude. Like I feel that so hard, dude. Robert Kiyosaki made this like really overpriced board game where it was similar to like Monopoly or like actually like kind of like Chutes and Ladders where you would like move through like this like candy lane type board and you'd have to make financial decisions about like what you're doing with your income that would either increase your income or decrease it, and you would have things happen to you. And you had to like, the idea was to get out of the rat race, right? And like quit your 9-to-5 so you made passive income.
Yep.
And I bought this fucking game. And he did too. And Gutek's
Yep.
the only other person I know that
That's
bought
right.
this game.
That's
Yeah.
right. It was meant to be.
It was actually insane.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
That's
what are
crazy.
the odds?
Yeah, like we have the exact same marketing upbringing.
Where did you grow up?
Dude, I grew up in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm from LA.
Awesome. Yeah, I spent most of my time in LA after I realized that was the real place I had to. Like, eventually, are you still in LA?
So up until almost 2 years ago, now I'm in Vegas, but I still go back to LA a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, LA. Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody's going to be moving to Vegas eventually. Wait, are you still in LA?
So here is my timeline. So I grew up in San Diego when I was young. I moved to Lake Tahoe, and then I lived in Nevada for a while. And then I moved from there to Los Angeles, and then I moved from Los Angeles to Seattle, where I currently am. And my theory is it goes like this: it goes San Francisco, Seattle, and now those two are now saturated. Then people are going to realize that Texas is the next place, Austin.
Yeah.
Then after that, everyone's going to realize it's Nevada, and everyone's going to go to Reno and Vegas, and that's where it's going to end. Reno is like the actual sleeper OP right now. Want to know
Why?
why? Because Tesla built their Gigafactory there.
Oh, okay. All right. I
So,
actually
40,000
saw
employees.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
saw
Mhm.
the Tesla factory on my way. Yeah, on my way to Burning Man because that was we stopped.
Oh,
we had
fuck
to
yeah,
pass
you went to Burning Man.
Have you
been? Yeah.
You haven't
of course.
been?
Yeah, of course. It was in my backyard. It's like 40 minutes away. You could drive
Oh, when
there.
you were living
Yeah,
there.
in Tahoe, yeah.
So do you still go?
I haven't been in a while, but I want to. Yeah.
Oh shit!
I knew a really crazy dude there that like ran one of the like big tents like that had the music. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, I love that shit, dude. I'm super into all that stuff. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, like the whole like spirit. Like I had a really crazy history of like the whole like spirituality like type stuff, and spent a lot of time like meditating, a lot of time doing like way too many psychedelics, stuff like that. Like,
Wow.
I had
No wonder you're so smart.
I had a really crazy part of my life where because I grew up in martial arts. That was like my whole world until I was like 20. And I competed, but I met a guy through my initial school, which was a Kempo school. I met a guy that taught Aikido, but he was also I don't tell this story that often because it's like so crazy that it's like one of these like, chat's gonna be like, what the fuck? Like I rarely ever tell this story, but he was a full-blown Apache shaman. His father was a shaman for the tribe, taught him everything he knew. So that was my first experience with peyote. And with mushrooms, like we went all natural, right? And he taught me a lot about that. I trained with him for 6 years.
Wow.
And that was a very big part of my initiation into that world. So I've gotten into that whole thing and sort of like everything as the aspect of that. And there's a lot of crazy shit in those stories that I don't tell the stream because it's just like everything these days, dude, is like so scientific methodological. You don't have like if you don't have like a scientific method or process to it, you can't explain it. It's not valuable to them. So I just don't tell those stories.
Well, I mean, this is how we gain the type of experience that gives us the perspective to think outside the box and to do things differently. Because I mean, you're on the bleeding edge. I mean, this type of stuff. I can't believe it's only been like an 8 or 9 month rebrand.
I have a feeling that you have a very similar history in spirituality.
Oh, yeah. Bro, you got to be a little bit crazy to if you don't have a certain amount of life experience, it's difficult to relate to a lot of people. And I feel like because of my experiences, I'm able to talk with people about just about anything.
Yes.
On their terms. And but the other thing is, through have a wide variety of experiences and interests, I'm able to pull different things into, I don't know, the creative work, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. So many people focus on like what they can test, but there's so much more going on. Like there's like, and I think that world sort of teaches you that, right? Like there's weird things, like the ability to like think about an idea and then just trust your process to actually come up with it after like you've slept on it, or you can kind of like let it go and put it on paper, and then like it comes back to you in this way, right? It's like this trusting this sort of brain process that's so much deeper than like sort of the base level consciousness that we have, right? Like
totally.
Yeah, putting things into deep intuition and then allowing them to come back like produces some of your best work.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Like, you can sit there and try to figure out what, where this image or text should go relative to this stuff. And you can spend all this time and get stuck. And then at least it's kind of funny for me when I'm sitting in front of the computer working on something, and then I get up, the timer Alexa tells me, the timer goes off, and then I go take a leak, and then I'm like in the walk to the bathroom taking a leak. It's like I'll have that like instant moment of clarity. It used to come a lot more in the shower, but now it happens when I'm like taking a leak.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's just when you take yourself out of the situation of being in front of the work, then you don't have that blocking the inspiration or the muse or the source or whatever of the creativity and the ideas, because I guess I've sort of come to realize that I'm more of a creative person, even though for most of my life I was like, no, like I'm not creative at all.
So.
No, I didn't think so at all. But now as I get older and I do more of this stuff, and then I see actually what not creative people are like, I'm like, oh fuck, like if only I would have realized this sooner. But then still need to learn how to balance the creativity with the other side of the brain?
I think a lot of it is removing the barriers in your brain that are holding back creativity. Things like stress, things like holding a lot of drama and shit like that in your brain, where it's like if you're thinking all the time about how like your relationship sucks or this person doesn't like you or you're worried about work or your boss or shit like that, like all that stuff blocks your creativity by a huge amount. Like you have to really be open and there's a really good book by Amanda Palmer called The Art of Asking. This is a Tim Ferriss recommendation.
Oh yeah. She was in that band.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the band, but I know.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And it's like this. It's that ability to just like clear your fucking head of all this bullshit and just like write it down if you need to. Like that's what I do. I write down a shitload of stuff. I write down stuff so that it's out of there, so that my mind has the time to process this stuff and come up with it and think about it in a way that's cohesive and actually can express itself in the world in a meaningful way. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you write stuff down like in a notebook, or
I use a program called Evernote.
Oh, you use Evernote?
Yes.
Okay.
And
of course.
I couldn't tell you. In fact, I wish I could show you, but I'm looking right now. I don't show this to like chat and stuff, but I'll show you later. Like I'm looking at like hundreds and hundreds. So show notes, like I've showed this to chat before, where like if I go back through my show notes, I have pages and pages of everything that I do has several hours of prep, right? Like if I go through here and I'm just clicking on like a totally random one, and we open it up. This is from, I guess, 2019. Every breakdown, links, everything, right? Every day. I write down everything that I learned from that day. So here's another one, just opening in like a 10-6. Key action statements, notes from email, things about partnerships, things like that. I write down every day what I learned. I also do you know Tim Ferriss's 80-20?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Holy shit, that's been one of the most productive things I've ever done. So I do that every 2 weeks, and I've done that for years, ever since, even before esports. And
really?
I use this template, and I've added a couple of questions to it before. But it's some of the Tim Ferriss questions, like what are 20% of the activities and people that are producing 80% of what I want? If I could only work 2 hours a day next week, what should be my focus? And I write all this shit because I think asking yourself these power questions is what helps your brain. So you sort of train your brain to think in terms of exponential value. And in doing so, you sort of grow yourself to start thinking about these opportunities, these sort of gaps automatically.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
How did you build a habit? Because it seems like this would take a lot of time, especially if you, let's say, spent a bunch of time, let's say doing a show with somebody, and then, you have your template and form that you fill out with all the other stuff. How do you find the time to be so thorough with, some of your notes and written work?
I think I just think it's such a critical process of being human, right? That for me it's a sanity type thing, that I feel like if I held all this stuff in my head, I would fucking obliterate myself, right? Like it's like Exodia level, I just like phase out of existence. So I've made this a process more as a result of mandatory, right? Like it actually doesn't take as much time as you would think. Like so mainly how I do it is I spend an hour at the end of the day, and then I'll sometimes do it throughout my day. But it really takes like one concentrated hour to get everything that I want to get out of it for, just exponential value. And it's like, if you don't have like 15 minutes or 30 minutes in your day and I go hardcore, right? Like I think you only need like 15 minutes for this shit. If you don't have 15 minutes, you don't have a life. Right, yeah. 15 minutes for meditation, reflection, introspection. Yeah. You have to look back on your time and be like, "What am I doing that's causing this to be so toxic?" Mm-hmm. Because I think most human beings should have a very healthy amount of time for reflection.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You have to make the time.
Exactly.
That's not one of those things that generally were probably not taught in school. Maybe probably not taught by like with people close to us growing up, you know.
Or they're not tough at all. It's just, and I think one of my most valuable things that I ever did was at CLG. This is like the most busy I ever was in my life, right? Like I'm running a 100-person company. It's 7 and I wake up at 6 in the morning actually for hot yoga. Then I go to bed around like 1 or 2 in the morning, and this is 7 days a week because Saturday and Sunday are our competition days, right? So the only way that I really stayed sane doing that, first of all, remember, like, back to is this a sustainable thing, right? I could do that for long enough that I could sell the company, and then I couldn't do it because I knew that there was a tail on that. There was no way that I was going to be able to do it. So I would go to this little store that was called Yusha Fon Tea, and it was a Taiwanese store with like a person who would do like a tea ceremony for you, and you paid like $40 or $50, and I would give them my phone at the door, and I would take a notepad, and I would sit there for like 3 or 4 hours every week writing down what are these questions. What are the top problems with CLG? What do I need to be focusing on? What's going on in my life? Who's taking too much of my time? And I would just brain dump that, sip tea, and then for whatever reason, the guy would give me goldfish crackers. That wasn't like part of the deal, but he just liked doing it. So it was like...
This looks like it'll help. Eat these.
Yeah. Like, I'm describing this like highly spiritual tea ceremony thing, but he'd just give me like this box of goldfish cat crackers. So fuck it. Like I would eat those, sip the tea, and write that shit down. And I would do that every single week. And it was the most... To this day, I have not found like a time that was more valuable than that.
Wow.
That was the most valuable stuff I've ever done.
Huh. Okay, I gotta start doing that.
Yeah.
Because
you're so connected. You got your fucking 3 screens and phone shit like that, dude. Like, and like,
how did you know I have 3 screens?
I'm in there because I have 3 screens, and I know you are the marketing like me, so we all both ended up that way. But you've got all that shit, dude, and like, I get it. And so like, one of the most important part of that paragraph that I just said was I handed my phone to him at the door.
Yeah.
He knew not to give it to me until I left. No matter what. Okay? Like my girlfriend could be on fire, my fucking house is burning down, like I don't care. Like I'm there in that place. And this is something I learned. I do a lot of yoga because I'm a basic white person. And like so I do a lot of hot yoga, but one thing I learned from yoga was like when you're on the mat, you're on the mat. For that hour, nothing else matters. Right. You're practicing. There's all kinds of shit going on in the rest of the world. And you know, the fucking coronavirus and fucking Iran and shit. Like, there's all kinds of stuff going on. But for that hour, you're on that mat.
The good news, it'll still be there. It
definitely will be. Yeah, coronavirus is waiting for you, man. It would be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about that. You can take an hour off. It'll be right outside when you come out.
Right there waiting for you.
No problem.
It's so true. Yeah, I'm sort of trying to rebuild the habit of writing more and more stuff down. So I got like the planner that has all of these different forms to fill, all these different boxes to fill in, gratitude, what am I excited about.
Did you do the gratitude journal? What's that thing?
I've done the 5-minute journal.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, I did that too.
I have like 2 or 3 of them filled out. Now I ran out of pages, and now I just have the app, but I haven't yet built the habit of using the app. But the thing that makes the app cool is you can include a photo,
right?
And it'll send you the reminders. So I have that, but I've also been using. Are you familiar with Notion?
Oh, I've heard of that, but I don't know exactly what it is.
Oh man! So if Airtable is Sheets on steroids, Notion is Docs on steroids.
Okay.
And I was watching this workshop at like 3 a.m. This morning. This guy, Tiago Forte, who was a big Evernote dude, he did this course called like Building a Second Brain with Evernote. And so he did this workshop yesterday on Notion, and basically made the case that all of the people who have been using Evernote for years are probably going to be migrating to Notion in the not too distant future.
Oh shit.
Oh
my god, this has a to-do list in addition to the oh no.
Oh, just
You're
wait
changing
till
my fucking life.
I know. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, this
You're
is
welcome.
insane.
Wait, use my referral. Hold on. Use my
Use my
referral. Don't sign up yet. Don't sign up yet. Use my referral code. Hold on.
Oh shit!
Y'all got some itchy trigger fingers around here. Hold on. Let me pull up this.
Oh,
this
so this
referral
is
link.
this is a CRM too?
You can use it as a CRM. Yeah.
I'm looking at it like it's got.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. All right. Here we go.
Oh, this is insane.
There we
Yeah.
go. Links in the chat.
This is insane. This is
Yeah.
actually. I will use your referral, by the way. Yeah.
Thank
This
you.
is actually
Yeah.
crazy.
Dude, here's the thing. This is what it just came to me. There are so many of these services out there that you and I already use.
Yeah.
Otter, Evernote,
Anchor,
Notion,
everything.
Anchor, yeah, the whole shebang. How do we get them? How do we set up deals with them to give us money for what we're doing? Anyways, like you know how Joe Rogan at the beginning of his podcast has all those commercials with all those promos.
Sure. Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, well, they paid him up front and he's getting money for every sign up. How do we do that?
Are you a big
web apps?
Are you a big Joe Rogan guy too?
Oh, bro,
Dude,
of course.
Oh my god.
Of course.
You're like my long lost brother or something, dude. Like this is fucking crazy.
Bring it in.
I listen. the digital. I feel it, man. I vibe so hard right now. Oh my god, this is insane. Like I listen to so much Jerry. That's like the whole reason why I want to do like deep dive discussions on Twitch with like really interesting people. But that was like I want to become the Jerry of Twitch. Like I think that's like a thing. Yeah.
It's funny that you say that because I've had the same thoughts, and it's like when I see what he's doing and then I look at the way that Twitch, I mean, it's just, the platform is really young.
It is.
But when you got that Amazon money, it's probably going to be around for a long time. Somebody, and I feel like you and Train and like Raj, but Raj is a little different because his show is like it's a show.
Raj is literally 2020 Howard Stern.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's just completely like it's Howard Stern, Judge Judy. Like I think like his kind of content is like the "You are not the father." Then the guy throws the chair and does the dance. Like that's Raj Patel 100%. Or it's what it's becoming. Right. Like that's 5 years down the line. Yeah, 100%. Like
and. There exists a need, like you're saying, for quality, long-form discussion with interesting people that the Twitch audience would know. And damn.
This Notion product looks super cool. This is like actually insane. And it's priced like Evernote too. Like $4 a month is like But going back to the question of like how do you sell this kind of stuff? So I have a really forehead answer, but dude, like I still think some of the best sales is direct contact. And I think the way that you do direct contact is you send an actual curated non-template message of how you can provide value via email. And then you follow up, right? Like I talked to a guy from a company called Zygo Media, and what they do is they like automate YouTube for streamers. So this guy named Gareth, and what's like you're a streamer, you make fucking buku money, you don't care, right? You just want your YouTube done for you. He just comes in, charges you a monthly fee, and does everything else, right? Super good plan. And I asked him, I was like, dude, how do you get in front of influencers? Because holy shit, like how do you talk to the average influencer is the most difficult person to contact in the universe, right? Like unless you physically hold them down at a convention or something, there's no way that you're going to be able to talk to this person. They're just terrible about getting back to people, right? Like, and he told me, he's like, dude, it's just hard fucking fault. Like every day on Twitter, hey man, you want to talk now? Hey man, what's going on? And then like 2 days, follow up, like boiler room ass shit, right? Like call them up. Hey man, are you interested in this? Whatever. Okay, don't answer the phone. 4 days later,
they say money doesn't buy happiness. Look at the fucking smile on my face.
It's just
What a classic.
I love that with Glengarry Glen Ross, right? Like third prize is you're fired. Like yeah, it's like and it's that kind of thing where it's like just that cold hard follow up. Like okay, like I've emailed people and I email them every 3 days and I just right, and then like it's gonna be 2 responses. Stop talking to me. Holy shit, I hate you, which is fine. It's an answer, and then it's like okay, I'll be back in 6 months when you might have changed your mind, and then like or it's like yeah, okay, we actually want that. Sorry, I've been really busy, right? And like that's the answer. Like you hit up Notion and you don't stop doing it until they tell you hard no or okay, let's do something.
So in this instance, like thinking about the Notions and Otters of the world, based on, let's say, the level that you're at or the talent that you have access to, how would you go about structuring the deal, or what would you approach them with? Because let's say you can drive a lot of signups, but maybe they just want to provide commission for signups instead of money up front.
Yeah.
When really you're trying to get.
I think there's a Chinese menu status, which is the way that I like to do all kinds of decks. I like to give different tiers. So what I'll usually do is I'll do like a moonshot where it's like, okay, this is like a monthly stipend on top of like commissions on top of like sponsorships like Cash App style, like funding tournaments and stuff like that, like they're doing for 100 Thieves. And I'll do a moonshot.
Wait. What?
Cash
Really?
App just did a 500K tournament for 100 Thieves. Yeah, that was the Super Bowl activation. Did you see the results of it? It's actually in my show notes. So it was like insane. They got like 400 million impressions, guys. Was that the number? It was some absurd number of something like that. But yeah, like that kind of thing. You do like a moonshot, and then you do a low tier option, which kind of is affordable, and then you do a mid tier option, which is like the best value for you. And the mid tier option is what you want them to go for. If they go for the high tier option, great. But if they go for the mid tier, so like with Notion, I might do a low tier that's like, hey, here's like a very small base monthly fee, maybe $200 to $500 per big influencer or whatever. Plus like, and there's like a couple CTAs involved with that, because ideally you should have like a rate card, right? Like, you should do something there. And then like maybe it's like a few CTAs, and maybe there's like a small there's a commission attached to it, and you get most of your money through affiliate, and you hope they don't take that. You've got like a mid-level thing where like that's like your actual best value, where you've got like a decent monthly stipend, and you've got like a bunch of ways to interact, and you've got like a moonshot that's like all those other things, like all that support. That's how I'd probably approach them. And I deck it out, right? Like the same way we've been talking about. I would build it out, and I would think of like 3 different ways. I'd put it in a slide and I'd send it to them after we initiated conversation.
So, let's say you're hitting them on Twitter, or you found them on LinkedIn, or you cold email or whatever. Basically, you would sort of introduce yourself, say, hey, I can drive some signups. I got a bunch of influencers. Can you jump on a call?
I like my first message, because I think this is the most important part of the sales process. I like my first message to be highly emotional. So I will look for some kind of word lead in. So here's a perfect example of how I'd approach Evernote. Okay, this comes back. This is the copywriting shit, right? Of Notion. Here's exactly how I would do it, right? Hey guys, I've been using Evernote for 5 years. One of my friends, this guy named Gutex, actually told me about you guys, and I was unbelievably surprised by all the things that you guys can do, and I fucking switched over instantly. I was amazed. Then I was thinking, shit, I run a YouTube channel with 50K subscribers, and I also run a Twitch with 100,000 followers. God damn, I could actually do a lot of stuff with you guys. I'm so passionate about your product right now that I think we could do something amazing together. And it actually happens that I know all these other influencers that could do this too. So like, would you guys I'd love to work with you guys and talk about how we could connect, because I see this incredible opportunity right there with us, because I think Notion is an amazing product and I am in. Okay, right there, would you buy that?
Wow. I would definitely give you the time of day on that one. Damn, that's really good.
That's how you do that, right? You do that warm kind of lead. And I think the difference is so many people, they send an email and it's cookie cutter shit. It's just template shit. It's just like, hey, I think there's a fantastic business opportunity here. Do you have time for a call? Like, what do you like? No, like, dude, like, make me feel it in my balls.
Right.
I want like make me feel it in my chest. Like I want that energy, right? And it reminds me of all of these emails that I get like every day for these fucking sponsorships. I can pull it up right now. Okay, here we go. Hello, I'm the PR manager of, I'm not gonna say the company. We develop an application to improve the experience of playing multiplayer games. This is the email I got 3 hours ago. We want to invite you to advertise our application. Can you tell us about your prices? This is not spam. We're waiting to hear your answer. I don't care about this.
Yeah, I get
right?
that. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
those.
like this. There's no emotion in this, right? Here's another one, right? Here. Good day, YouTuber. My name is Emma.
Good day.
Literally says that.
Good day, YouTuber.
Good day, comma, YouTuber. My name is Emma. I'm the manager of whatever. Whatever is a set of utilities for optimizing PCs. It provides an automatic service for removing malware, fixing registry errors, and protecting personal data. See what she's doing right now? She's telling me all the reasons why her service or product is valuable, which I don't fucking care about. Tell me why I'm valuable. I only care. So you see how when I started off my copy for Notion, what did I do right away? Here's why Notion is fucking awesome. I was using Evernote, and then I heard about Notion. I'm like, shit, you guys can do pictures, you just do video, you can do all this stuff. I'm in, right? I said immediately what the value add was for their product and why I'm passionate about their product. Because if you're a human being, you only want to hear about yourself. You don't want, I don't give a fuck
Totally.
about this.
I don't care about you.
Yeah. I don't care about this like, we're optimizing PC. Like, okay, whatever. Like, what about me? I'm fucking awesome. Talk about me. Like, right? Like, that's how you do copy. That's how you sell people. Like, so many people, they go into it and it's not emotional. They're just not, like, they don't make people care.
Yeah.
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 You want to sell, you
yeah.
gotta feel it in your chest.
No, yeah, totally. I mean, it makes it, you really have to put that enthusiasm and the personality behind it, especially if it's actually a product that you do like, and you already are a fan of. That makes it a lot easier because I feel like this would work. The reason why I'm sort of focused on web apps right now is because they have, number one, it's a digital product.
Mm-hmm.
It's, typically relatively low cost, but they usually have a sweet referral program. And I feel like they're used to spending money on digital forms of marketing and advertising anyways.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like,
but
as we're like doing our events coming up and we're like looking for sponsors, it's like if we only have if we're trying to sell ad inventory, to stuff that's like a digital product, it's going to be easier, I think, to get results.
Easier is not necessarily better though, because I would challenge you that you are right? Selling to web apps is going to be much more familiar in terms of the space, and they might convert much easier because they understand it. But your challenge is to sell inventory to people that have never dealt with digital and tell them why it's important, because that's where the real budgets are, my friend, right? Like, you talk about the major F500s, they still don't understand digital. If you can get in front of them and you can sell a passion story, that's where you're going to make a shitload of money. The web apps are so they know too much. It's like, okay, here's how I'd say this, right? So in esports, if you're selling to endemics, you're selling to Corsair, for example, all my friends over there, so I can talk about them. They're fucking smart, right? They know the affiliate prices. They know the exact value that is going to come back and forth. They're not gonna waste a penny on this shit, right? But if you're selling to someone that's not familiar with digital marketing, right, you can go in there and you can do so many value adds and you can upsell so much higher because they're willing to try things because they know their traditional shit is failing. And they're spending $150 million on billboard ads that aren't converting, right? So they can take 5% of their fucking marketing budget, which is probably a bigger deal than you've ever fucking converted on, right? And they can give it to you because you're the only one that's bold enough to stand in front of them and say, look, this shit works, with a passionate enough story. That's my opinion. I think like one challenge that I did was, can you sell Instagram to restaurants, local restaurants, right? People that have never heard of it, because you can say, look, go to micro-influencers with 700 to 1,000 followers that are in the area, have them come to your restaurant for free, right? And then post pictures of it and get infinitely more foot traffic. And I've got a guy in Seattle that runs a restaurant right now that's clearing $80K a month just by this marketing only. That's the only marketing he does. He talks to local Seattle influencers about coming into his restaurant, gives them a free meal in exchange for a picture. They have 700 followers on Instagram, if that, maybe 300. But all 300 of them are local Seattle people that are friends of theirs. And he utilizes micro influencers to bring in that. Yeah, it's 80K revenue. It's like 40, 30K profit in the end. So can you think about this kind of inventory selling in a way that challenges you to sell to people who are not endemic to the space? And that's how I think about everything.
The challenge of people not. Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of like if they're endemic, then you basically have to give them like the locals price.
You have to know that you're dealing with the initiated, right? You're not going to be able to throw a smoke screen. He's going to stand there, right? Like it's that type of thing. You know, the Batman Bane fight. You know,
right.
Yeah, they're too familiar. They're too initiated. So yeah, you're not gonna. And that's not to say that you're trying to pull something over on your clients. It's just that what I'm saying is like they know they know the runaround, right? And they know exactly what they want to activate on and what they want to do. So it's so much harder to sell endemics on really big new projects because they've probably been burned a lot by like how many people have been burned by Twitch influencers that didn't do call to action that provide ROI. Oh, I remember a couple of years ago when people were tossing $1 million budgets into Twitch, and they weren't, and like people were dropping like these huge campaigns for influencers. These endemics were doing it, right? Like Asus and fucking God, what was G2A, right? We're putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into Twitch and not getting those conversions, and now those endemics are initiated. They know that now, right? So selling them inventory way harder. Yeah. Because at least if you want to go for big contracts. Yeah, someone said like NVIDIA is actually a great example. When NVIDIA started out, they spent a lot of money in the space, and now NVIDIA is like crack team, SEAL Team 6 shit. Like you go to them and you want to advertise something endemic for Twitch or YouTube, they will tell you exactly how to be. All right, like they'll be like, okay, here's what we're doing. And that's not always good because that stifles creativity and larger inventory ideas for things like Zizaret, one of my friends on the Path of Exile community, is running a bunch of tournaments now for like Path of Exile leagues that are getting sponsored that are really, really good and converting really well. But endemics wouldn't think to sponsor. He's getting a bad response from endemics because endemics are not used to those sort of things working well because they haven't historically. So he's actually. Why do you
think they're working well for non-endemics then?
Because the ecosystem has changed.
Oh.
Yeah, the ecosystem has changed, right? We're in a different world than we were 4 years ago or 5 years ago on Twitch. Like the same things, people are more receptive to pre-planned events and content on Twitch. That like, why is Critical Role doing so well? Right? Do you know that channel?
No. I live in a cave. The only channel I watch on Twitch is yours.
Woo! Let's go. Critical Role is the most successful D&D channel in the world. It has 40,000 subscribers, about as many concurrent viewers. They're on for 3 to 4 hours every Thursday. And the reason why they're so successful is because the ecosystem of Twitch is now changing to support more pre-planned, long-form content that look at Raj, right?
Right.
Like I don't think that Raj could have existed in the same way in the Twitch ecosystem 5 years ago. I don't think that's a thing. I think that's becoming a thing because just chatting is the fastest growing category on Twitch. More people are coming to understand what live streaming is, and they're now looking to production quality as a differentiator from, oh, I sit here, here's my webcam, and I play a game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of, because the market is so saturated with the people who are just sitting in their room streaming.
Yeah, there's a billion people like that. You can watch anybody be good at a game. Like, and look at all the old broadcasters, and we do all the time on this channel. Look at all the people that have been streaming for 4 or 5 years and they're still using that template. Webcam, playing a game, they're declining in viewership, 30 to 40% year over year, like clockwork, right? Mm-hmm. And then the people that aren't are leaving Twitch. They're going to Mixer because they're taking cash deals. Because it's a way superior model than donations and subscriptions.
Well, yes. Yeah. But then not everybody is up in the 1% of the 1% getting those lucrative offers from competing platforms.
Oh yeah, and that's why I'm just referring to that very small percentage that does do that. But
Right.
the other people that are staying on Twitch, right, and they're playing games and they're just following that same template, they are not, as a net, increasing in viewership. The people
Right.
that are increasing are the people that are doing pre-planned content, just chatting content, which is pushing the bar, right? IRL stuff. People like Hot Chubby, which are doing crazy new shit, dressing up in a Teletubby costume and singing or doing like IRL content where you go to the Space Needle and stuff, right? Like this is the kind of stuff that's pushing the bar because people get it. People get the old video game content.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, the landscape has changed a lot.
Oh yeah.
But it just seems like if you're going after non-endemics, well, I guess probably most businesses are non-endemics at this point. So
Absolutely right. Yeah.
So you got a
Especially
clean
most-
slate with everybody.
Especially most big businesses, which is actually the really important thing. Like, they're endemic businesses. Like, what are the biggest endemics in our space? Like Monster Energy, maybe. Like, and then like some of the hard work. Like Coursera is like
hardware.
attached to a pretty big company, right? And stuff like that. But that's not compared to like, Google or like Johnson and Johnson. Or like
Right.
Ford, or like Toyota, yeah, like right, like we're talking about companies like a billion plus market cap, and they're companies that spend, I mean, a vast amount of money on traditional advertising that is not building their brand anymore and has not converted them. Because look, I worked with a lot of the older blood in marketing. I had an opportunity to do that at CLG, and I can tell you the number of people that are spending 15 million on a billboard, 20 million on traditional advertising that nobody cares about. Right? And they're not hitting the demographics they want. They're not getting the results they want, and they can't prove it out worse, right? The thing about digital that you know is that we can track everything. Affiliate campaigns, we can track everything. We can track it through a link. We can tell you who's buying from where, their freaking name, their age, their dog's name, the dog's age, the grandma, everything, right? I got all that data, especially through Facebook ads. But so when you go into a non-endemic meeting and you sell them on the idea, it's like, look, what if I told you that you could spend a fraction of the budget that you're already spending now on traditional marketing on this digital, and you can track all of it? We don't even need to guess, we can prove it. Would you be willing to do that? And then they're like, fuck yeah, right? Like, and they might be a little bit scared, so they might just dip their toe in the water. But for Coca-Cola, dipping their toe in the water is a $500K deal, because they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on marketing per year on other shit that they know is not working.
How do you go about sort of addressing the conversation about, let's say, their existing marketing budget that is being spent in different ways?
I just shit on them, but there's different ways to do that. Like, I think the problem is that there's a lot of really defensive people in the ad agency world that are trying to keep their jobs like through the sort of old ways, right? And when you run into the problem is, and this is like the kind of difficulty of working with non-endemics and like really getting like really deep in the weeds here, but the problem is that typically when you're working with non-endemics, you're actually not working directly with the company, you're working with whatever agency represents them.
Right.
And then that starts to become really complicated. So like the entirety of like the Fortune 500 universe is run by like 6 advertising agencies in New York City. And once you build relationships with those people, they're increasingly willing to start like looking into digital as more of like a viable like platform. But there's a lot of old blood there that's really scared of evolving. So this is somewhat like just like a process of trial and error. And the number of times that I've been in a Death Star meeting of 30 old people that have suits on that are like, this is not important to us at all, we don't relate to this at all, is high, right? And I have been so one of the big impetuses for why I rebranded from Mylixia, which is my old gaming name, to Devin Nash, right, was this reason. Was when I came in and I was like, hi, I'm Mylixia. I run an esports organization. It's a bunch of people that play. They're already checked out in like 2 seconds, right? They're like, yeah, go fuck yourself. This is some weird Zoomer shit. Like, we're not interested in this, right? I've already lost them. So there's a lot of like weird, too much for like. I'd have to like think. I don't have like a process for it. It's just like. It's like everything else, right? Like experience, where it's just like little course corrections to make yourself more accessible to these guys. That you just learn by doing it. But if you never approach the non-endemics, you don't get to learn. And I think that's a big problem that a lot of people are doing. Is that like I would take a look at CrossCounter and be like, what percentage of our outreach is non-endemic? And if the answer is, not 10%, if 1 in 10 of your pitches is not to a non-endemic, then I would think about that, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, okay, so sales and pitches and all this stuff from an outbound perspective is really a recent development for me, which was sort of the luxury of focusing on inbound marketing and creating the types of content to drive traffic to where people want to hit me up. So now I'm in this situation where now I'm selling ads and booth space at Evo and for at other different tournaments and people with a lot of inventory. But yeah, I mean, in terms of actual outreach to non-endemics, have not done a lot of that. But if I'm selling for Evo, that makes things a lot easier.
Oh yeah, and you should be doing both. But look, like there are inbound marketing ways to do this, and I'll give you like a direct example because I think it'll provide a lot of value. At CLG, I ran an inbound Facebook PPC campaign. I targeted only marketing directors of large companies that I knew had budgets to spend.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, because you were in your Facebook ad, you were specifically targeting people with that
the job
title?
Correct. Yes.
Of marketing director?
Marketing directors and VPs of marketing for large non-endemic businesses. And I spent $50 and got $400,000 deal. So there are ways to do inbound marketing, but you have to be very creative. Yeah.
Right, but when you were sending people to a landing page.
It was a 30-second ad. So it was just an ad about why CLG is super cool. And we had it done by our production team. And it was like a very accessible ad. So it was like, it started off, I think the first 15 seconds was just like about how esports is like this new thing. Because I knew that most of them would have that imprint, right? So about marketing, you're a traditional marketer, so everything is impressions. Yeah. Right, so it's like that first impression of Devin Nash or Gutex. Okay, I've heard of that guy, maybe, but like your second or third time checking me out, that's when you're gonna follow. That's when you're gonna engage. Right?
Hey, what's up, Vince?
Or it might be
I'm listening to Devin Nash,
but it's like getting as many impressions as possible. So I knew that
he's a guy
CLG as a company.
He streams on Twitch, but he like puts all his good streams on YouTube.
And we're talking like household name, right? Like if I said, "Hi, we're CLG," I'm gonna lose them. But if I said we're esports, then I have a connection because I knew there was already a certain number of impressions that were made as a result of that. So definitely if you're a VP of marketing at any company today, you've heard of esports. And so I bet on that. And then I said, hi, this is esports. We're one of the premier leaders in North America for this. This is how you get in contact with us if you're looking to take your marketing to the next level. I spoke to them. It was a specific video to marketers, right? And then I blasted it out. And my response rate was fucking crazy.
That's fucking brilliant.
Targeted ads, man.
I wish I would have thought of that. But here's the thing. I don't need to think of it because you already did. That's brilliant because here's the thing. It's funny if you you ever try to watch YouTube but you weren't logged in and so your YouTube premium doesn't work and so you see all the ads that all the plebs see.
Yeah.
And if you type in Shopify and Instagram into YouTube, you're going to get a bunch of videos telling, people showing you how they made $4,537 in their first month on Shopify this month. But also there's like 3 mid-rolls of guys doing the modern day equivalent of selling the no money down Robert Allen no money down real estate program in an infomercial. It's kind of like that style, right?
Exactly like that. Have you ever heard of my favorite story about this? Okay, have you ever heard of a guy named Ty Lopez?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so
Tyler
I'm
Lopez,
a
yeah.
huge Tyler. I did a video. It only got 3.4K views 8 months ago, but it's one of my. It's got a stupid ass thumbnail. This is back when I'm like super scuffed. But it's one of my favorite videos. It's called Tyler Lopez Outplayed YouTube. So what this video is about 4 or 5 years ago when no one was running PPC on YouTube. What Ty Lopez did was he invested all of his money into pay-per-click ads, specifically targeting self-improvement videos. So and here's what he did, dude. You're gonna love this shit as a marketer. I'm so glad I can tell you this story, okay? What he did was he put his own 3 to 4 minute the full fucking video in front of every self-improvement video. So the video would start and the ad would be his video. So he literally hijacked channels on YouTube and then converted to his product. And he took over YouTube and all of his money that he had, he reinvested back into the YouTube thing. So that's how his 67 Steps program took off and was one of the most successful campaigns of all time. He literally fucking hijacked everyone else's channel because nobody was paying for the attention. And yeah, it was so smart.
That's brilliant.
I know.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the ads. Actually, I hadn't seen them on YouTube. I'd only seen them on Facebook, but I never knew the origin story.
And then what was so funny about it too is that everybody started memeing him for doing it, right? Everyone's like, fuck, I can't stop seeing these Ty Lopez ads. And so it's like this here in my car type thing. And so everybody got butt frustrated, and that increased it even more because now he's getting earned media.
Right.
And the same thing happened for a game about a month ago. Have you heard of Raid Shadow Legends?
No, what's that?
Raid Shadow Legends is a game that started doing the same type of thing on YouTube, and they did this thing where they did these giant influencer activations. They basically paid like every gamer on YouTube. Like, how many of you put a 1 in chat if you've heard of Raid Shadow Legends? Go, right? Like, they. Like, literally, like, how many times have you seen these obnoxious ads, right? Like, what Raid Shadow Legends did was they paid influencers a stupid amount of money. Like, it was something like $100 to $150 per accounted for sign up, right? Because, like, okay,
What?
yeah, $10,000 a video. Fucking insane amount of money for everybody, right? And people got so mad that they started, like, there's a literal video on YouTube. Why I won't support Raid Shadow. This is my favorite video on YouTube right now. It is a video that says, I won't be bribed by Raid Shadow Legends. It has 1 million views. And it's a whole video about how this game is garbage. I hate this game. This guy just gave 1 million views worth of free earned media to Raid Shadow Legends. Congratulations, right? No, I don't want to play Raid Shadow Legends. 846K views, right? Don't invest in these epics. 20K views. 182 views. It's like on and on and on. Like, right? It's literally marketing through obnoxiousness. I fucking love it. Oh my God. Yeah, it's insanely effective. Because all this is generating earned media for them. That's going to be more downloads. It's going to be people to check it out, right? But there's no bad publicity.
You know, I had to look it up. I had to see if I got an offer for Raid Shadow Legends. There it is.
You got one?
No, I have 2. Hello, my name is Eugene. Nice to meet you. It's great when your YouTube channel can bring you money. Now we have an exclusive new offer for you that can be an easy way to earn by promoting different mobile games and apps. Right now, we have Raid Shadow Legends offer available there, which I think might be interesting for you.
There it is.
And you know what's fucked up? I even responded to that cookie cutter. You know, I mean, I might as well be BCC'd with like 1,000 people in Gmail right now.
Yeah, 100%.
But I reply with, sure, I'm interested. And then, oh, okay, this is where we got stuck. See, I could have been getting my fair share of those $150 sign-up referral fees.
Yep.
But instead, the email that I got back from Eugene was, thanks for your reply. Here's a link for the platform. And then it links me to the platform. I'm like, well, I'm not fucking signing up for this shit. And then that's where I got stuck. And then he follows up 8 days later and then a week after that, and then like 10 days after that, and another
Yep.
12 days after that. This started in December. Started on
He's still
December
going.
10th. Well, here's the thing. Obviously, he's using
The
some sort of
CRM.
CRM.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. What's your CRM situation?
I use a service called Pipedrive.
Oh, you use Pipedrive.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. And it's the same shit. Just
Pipedrive actually sounds quite familiar because I was in the market for a CRM once I realized I was going to need something to manage all of this.
yeah.
And had come across Pipedrive. Yes, it does. I knew I'd seen it somewhere. I saw it. Guess where I saw it? I knew I saw it as one of the things that works with Zapier. Oh, you're gonna love this.
Ooh, it integrates. Oh no.
Mhm.
Oh, no,
yeah.
Gutex.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Sorry guys, we gotta cancel the rest of the show for the
Yeah.
rest of the week. Got some real work to do.
Yeah. We got some real shit to do.
Yeah. How are you using Pipedrive? Like, what's the funnel look like?
It's pretty straightforward, just your typical CRM. So you've got your accounts, you've got which are your businesses, you've got your individuals in it. The most valuable thing about a CRM, I think, obviously it's the hey, you should talk to this guy, like the reminder. But one of the most valuable things that I actually use it for is I take personal notes on people that just things about people. Like has a little dog that's cute that they really like.
Yep.
And then I'm
Smart.
like, how's your dog? Right? And they're like, oh my God, he remembered my dog, right? It's like that kind of stuff. So I'll take like special notes on things like if people like care about something, I'll try to take a note on that and then I will bring that up in the account notes. And so I'll be like, oh, that's right. This person really cares. Like I might like remember that you really care about Burning Man. And that's something that for you, like I don't even need because there's so much shit we link up on, right? Like,
Right. No, we don't need notes on this one.
Fucking,
We got a
we're
whole
already
page.
best
Yeah.
friends. Yeah, we're done. Like we've already got there. But like I think for a lot of people there might be like one or two touch points that you're similar on. So it's really valuable to sort of mention that. And then I usually like leverage on those and then I'll go off of them so that I have some sort of like point of contact with every single person.
Do you have any like automated sequences or something that when they get added to the funnel, they get something?
I
or
do that
get
for
put in-
email marketing, but I don't do it for like specific like. So I use Pipedrive only for like sales clients, like people that I want to do. I would say like probably $50,000 or more dollar deals with. Yeah. Like if I'm not doing a deal of that tier, I'm probably not going to fuck with them.
You don't even get into the CRM unless you're trying to spend 50 racks around around these here.
That's the entry fee. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck
Because, dude, like, here's the thing about email, okay? Email is literally someone else's calendar for shit they want you to do. So if it's not going to be a really high value proposition, I can't be fucked. I can't be fucked.
Right.
Just
Totally.
like, you know,
No,
like-
it's so true.
yeah.
I mean, I had severe cases of email anxiety.
I hate
for
email.
So long.
I've shut
and
down my
then-
Twitter DMs. I've shut down my Discord, except to friends. I've shut down all my shit. Email is the one thing I have open, and it is abused to high heaven. Hi, Devin,
Yeah.
how do I start a stream? Hi, Devin, how do I start a YouTube channel? Hi, Devin, I didn't watch the fucking hours of shit you have on this on YouTube, and I decided to email you about it anyway. How do I do this? Hi, Devin, I'm 24 and lost in life, wandering around in circles, and I don't know what to do. Yeah, it's like, oh my god, and hi Devin, I hate your D&D character, and here's a 6-page thing on why you should use your spells differently. Just on and on and on. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I've gone through that same struggle, and then once I started to use a CRM, I didn't realize that a CRM would have solved my email issues so long ago, because it's not so much the people that I'm dealing with and I want to talk to that give me the anxiety. It's really like it's too easy to get distracted in all of the stuff that exists in the inbox and that shows up while you're not there. But then when I'm using Fresh Sales, it's like I only, even though I have it connected to the email and I can send emails through it, I'm only seeing what I've purposefully added. So it's really easy to cut through the noise and not have to get distracted by all this stuff, because it's really easy. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. The quadrant. Yeah. 7 habits of highly effective people.
Yeah, this is the thing that like email almost always falls into quadrant 4 for me. And one thing that's like really interesting is I think a lot about Tim Ferriss's method of doing this is that he seems to have thought about a way to sort of delegate email. And I'm kind of at the point where I might like get an assistant to just answer emails.
Do you have an assistant to do regular stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I use outsourcing a lot. So this is another thing that I learned from Tim Ferriss is that I started very early in my life, and I use a lot of Indian and Filipino outsourcing, especially for research.
Yeah, I know I need to do that, but it's like one of those things where it's not just the delegation; it's also like sort of like the process.
My girlfriend.
Yeah,
because my girlfriend's Filipino, so everyone's in chat is like,
that's how you found her. I mean, yeah. You were hiring for all different types of positions.
It's cheap. Yeah, you know that Tim Ferriss actually did a like a girlfriend style like PPC campaign. Did you read about that?
No.
He did this thing where he hired like a person to go find people.
Oh,
that,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like delegating your online dating activity and profile in an era where you couldn't just use like a browser extension to just swipe right a million times.
Yeah. And apparently it worked.
Oh, I believe it. Well, here's the thing. It's as we know, as traditional marketers, everything is a numbers game.
Yes.
How many dates did you go on this week? Well, how many thousands of times did you swipe right? Oh, you only swiped right on the ones that you found attractive? Well, I guess you're not going out this week, are you?
Yep, dude, and like,
I guess it's just...
no, 100%, dude. Like, when I think about this, I think about army recruiting, because like, army recruiting is exactly this, right? It's literally they go everywhere. Hey, do you want to join the army? No. Hey, do you want to join the army? No. Hey, do you want to join the army? No. Hey, do you want to join me? Yes. Okay, right? Like, it's just a pure numbers game. It's like literally go to every school and ask people until somebody tells you yes, right?
Right.
Like, that's all it is. Just a pure numbers game.
There's no secret. It's really just like, can you keep at it long enough to hear somebody say yes?
Yep. That's it.
Well, so, like, what was your... Because I know, like, I've even gotten to the point where I used the site, like, it was like onlinejobs.ph or something to find, like, Filipino help. And I got... Because I needed, like, videos edited. This was, like, about a year ago. And I got so many different... I got so many I was buried in responses. That was, like, part of it, too. But then there was something... God, there's just something... I don't know. I think I got some unresolved trauma or baggage or something, because there's something that sort of stops me from just, like, getting on a call with somebody and being like, so do you want to work for me? I don't know.
If there's one thing to take away from this conversation, it's that you have to think about that a lot, because like that's your biggest exponential value to yourself is that thinking a lot about that delegation thing. It's not
all right, thanks guys for watching.
But I'd say for the outsourcing thing,
yeah, I got to check out some more reference to really flesh out this and
creative shit is not good to outsource.
Make it look better. So
like I really like all the design stuff.
Take some time off, do that, and I'll be back on streaming when I get back to working on these. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.
That I really loved. It was like just it fit perfectly. It was super soft and silky, and I fucking loved it, right? And then I went back to H&M to buy more of these pants, and they were gone. And I did like all the homework. I went to the H&M the big store, I called corporate, and I was like, can you get more of these pants? Like, oh, sorry, we don't make those anymore. And I'm fucked, right? So what I ended up doing was I was working with a company called Brickwater, I think, in India, and I ended up packaging up and shipping my pants to them. And they made me 3 pairs of the exact same pants. They found a guy in India to do it for $5 a pant, exactly the same pants, and they shipped me back my original pants plus 3 new ones. And I wore them for years.
Wow.
Hell yeah.